Oh my god, hello! What's up, people? So this is gonna be my 9.2 PvP Survival Hunter guide, and for the people that don't know me at the moment, what am I in rating? I'm the 6th person in the 3v3 ladder. I'm almost number 1 in 2s, but I've been slacking a bit. And then my experience, I am the highest rated 2v2 player in 2s. And then I think I am the highest survival hunter in 3s as well. Can check. Okay, well, this guy didn't play survival, so it didn't count. But I mean, I have 2 characters up here. And then what else? Got some titles, got some rating. Is it just to give myself some type of credibility for the people that don't know who I am? Anyways, let's get into the guide. So I'm gonna start out with talents. Now, first off, this might take a little bit extra because there's now a tier set that you have to think about. This one over here. But I'll talk about this more later. So in general, in your level 15 talents, you have two things. Either Viper Venom or Outlaw Predator. And in general, I think that Viper's Venom will be better. But once you get the 4 set, and maybe even 2 set, I would actually start recommending Alpha Predator. Basically, this talent is really good because without the tier set, you're not really pressing kill command that often. So it just gives you, an extra serpent thing sometimes to just do a little bit of extra damage. I mean, then again, it doesn't really do that much, but then the same thing, Alpha Predator, without a tier set doesn't really do that much either, because, you can press flanking strikes to get focus, but this row might be changing as well, hindsight, so I just recommend either Viper's Venom or Alpha Predator, but I do actually recommend Alpha once you get the tier set. And then in the 25 row, you only really have Guerrilla Tactics. Everything else here is just, this is kind of bad. And then in the 30 row, so you can pick all 3 of these talents, but I'd say Camouflage is gonna be the one that you pick the most. There's so many things you can do with Camo. You can get a stronger opener if you're against something like a rogue mage. You can't get sapped. It can be easier to land traps from stealth. For example, if you're against like a shaman that are going to press Fleshcraft in the opener, and then they're going to press, Earthen Wall, and then Grounding Totem, etc., etc. So against some healers, it can be kind of nice to trap from stealth. Also kind of against Holy Priest. You can maybe do something cheeky, like let's say you have Camo, you also have Nadja, Door of Shadows. You can go Camo on the Holy Priest that has Holy Ward. You can use Door of Shadows, and then you can like trap them. So you can use the Nadja to remove the Holy Ward, and then you can trap him after. So there's like a lot of things you can do with Camo to get a stronger opener. But even if you're not using Camo for the opener, there's also things you can do with it. So as an example, maybe if your pet ever dies in arena, let's say my pet is dead right now, I can just go for a Feign Death Camo, and then I can rest my pet from stealth. Makes it way easier. You can also, if you're under attack, you can, maybe like Feign Death Camo. Let's say you're against something like a rogue mage, they CC your healer, and you know that the rogue is gonna get to you. You can maybe just pop a quick Feign Death Camo, stop the entire go, etc., etc. It also helps if you have a macro to make it a bit faster. This one right here. I'll have all of my macros linked down below, but this is just like a, I can show you how it works. So let's say I'm attacking this friendly gentleman over here, and then I want to make a I just click the macro, and there you go. Now I accidentally did Alt-C, but it's because it's an Alt-A. It's a little bit of an awkward keybind, okay? I'm still getting used to it. It's like a kind of a new macro. I haven't used it that much, but it's kind of fun. But other than that, there's so many different things you can do with Camo. Some bugs with Camo. I will say the number 1 bug with Camo that I would highly recommend you guys start using, especially once you have the 4 set. I think most of you guys already know what it does. But so the thing that you can do is that if you don't have a pet and then you go camo and then you summon your pet while you're in stealth, you can now attack with your pet and it won't take you out of camo. So you can spam kill command to get a bunch of procs, right? You know, you can spam kill command and then you'll get resets. And, you know, I was doing this in the tournament. I was doing this, I mean, look at this. I mean, you go camo, you summon your pet is not in stealth. I could spam kill command, you know, and if I get lucky, you know, I'll get a bomb proc. My god. So this is like a way that you can, you know, guarantee that you get a really strong opener. Much in the same way that you can like trap from stealth in the opener like this, you know. But now you're also getting something in the meantime, you know, you're actually doing some sort of damage while you're walking up to the healer. So this is definitely something that is really good to do. And another thing with how this works, this interaction, is that if your pet is no longer with you, let's say, for example, if you call something like Door of Shadows or Wild Kingdom, your pet actually despawns for a little bit, which means that you can do the same interaction with not having a pet, pressing camo, and then summoning your pet, where your pet won't be attached to you. So I can show you like a bit later how that's gonna work with Door of Shadows. But then the other talents, you know, natural mending, pretty good. Just like sustain healing in general. I mainly picked this into. I mean, you can pick this in a mirror matchup in 2s, for example. I wouldn't really recommend it in mirrors in 3s because I feel like camo can have a lot of value, especially if they kill your pet or if you want to get a stronger opener. For example, in jungle, you know, like if the hunter is in stealth, it's going to be way harder for the feral to open on you, etc, etc. So camo is still really good for stuff like that, but if you're just playing 2v2 and you're against another hunter, you know, you can for sure pick natural mending. And then Trailblazer, this is something that I only really pick into any Resto Druid team in 2s. And the reason why against Resto Druid specifically is, let's say I'm chasing a Druid around a pillar, right? And he's in Shira form or travel form, whatever. He's like very fast. So while I'm chasing someone around a pillar, naturally you won't be attacking anyone because you're chasing them. But with Trailblazer, it will allow you to like catch up to people you're chasing around pillars, so you can maybe press like a wing clip. So this is for sure something that is only really going to be good in 2s. For 3s, I don't know, this doesn't really seem that good at all. This is mainly just like a 2s thing if you're getting kited a lot. But yeah, it's only really for chasing people around pillars. But then the other thing with camo that I want to show you. So if you remember earlier, if you do a Door of Shadows, move the pet. You see now how my pet wasn't with me after the Door of Shadows. So now, you know, you do the same thing again with you being in stealth. But the benefit with doing it like this is that you can do this in combat. Because if you think about it, or why not? You just have like a vanish. Like what? You know, you can Door of Shadows while you're like attacking someone. And then even if your pet has a bunch of bleeds, which, you know, or like dots, it doesn't take you out. Because, I mean, my pet can even die right now. It wouldn't take me out of stealth. Because my pet is not tied to my stealth anymore. So, if you guys want to get a clean re-stealth, this is, you know, that's how you do it. You can also do this with Wild Kingdom. Because there's going to be like a little window where your pet is dismissed. So there you can just do like Wild Kingdom, feign that camo. If you do it really quick, then the same thing will happen where you will be in stealth and your pet is not in stealth because you went stealth before your pet got summoned. Okay, I hope that made some sense. So let's talk about the level 35 talent row. So here, I think all 3 are decently playable. I would say Steel Trap would be the one you pick the most. Bloodseeker is for sure not super terrible in some specific matchups. And then crows, I would only really pick crows if I'm against a BM hunter in 2s. Because I feel like Steel Trap doesn't really get that much value because, I mean, it can land on the secondary pet. You won't get much value out of Bloodseeker because, I mean, I guess you can pick Bloodseeker into BM hunters as well. Especially with the attack speed that gets, you know, with your Unity legendary. The fact that this bleed spreads to his pet, so like you'll get some damage out of it as well. So Bloodseeker for sure is like a viable option into BM and 2s, but I feel like Crows is like pretty half decent, you know? If you force a hunter to press Feign Death, and you press Crows afterwards, you know? It's gonna be like 10k damage over 15 seconds. Maybe not the best, but I mean, you know, it's something at least. But in general, I would recommend Steel Trap, mainly because the damage from Steel Trap does not get affected by armor. So into stuff like plate and mail, if you remember how I said 10k damage, Steel Trap will roughly do the same damage as Crows against mail and plate. Isn't that crazy? But it's also an 8-second route that breaks on like 4k damage. And it costs no focus. I mean, what? Just compare that. I mean, the only reason why I don't pick it into like I'm like a BM hunter into is because, you know, there's like a high chance that I can miss it because it, you know, it can go on the secondary pet, blah blah blah. But I don't know. I don't even feel like Crows is like that good anyway. In the one matchup where maybe it can be good, it's still not good. Because before I used to pick Crows into stuff like, you know, DMO Warlocks, because it can be kind of hard to land Steel Trap against DMO because the hitbox is kind of janky with all the pets everywhere. But I have found out that Bloodseeker is actually really good into stuff like DMO because it synergizes really well with the Killshot legendary, the Unity one. So imagine, right, that you press Flade Shot and there's a bunch of pets everywhere. Look how this gets spread, and then you get Bloodseeker, the attack speed. So both you, look how fast my pet is attacking. Dude, look at him go. He's smacking. And this gets like even better the more pets you attack. I don't know. I've found out that the damage is just, it's actually really good. It's not even bad at all. So for sure, I do recommend Bloodseeker into stuff where the attack speed value from both you and your pet, you know, does something. Note that the pet's like, you know, the attack speed isn't that good for the hunter because mainly you won't have that high uptime anyway in melee range. So the fact that your auto attack swing gets, you know, back up sooner doesn't really matter if you have like a hit and run playstyle. But I mean, in some cases where you have high melee uptime, this definitely does add up. I mean, it's for sure better than Crows, right? So yeah, you're mainly picking Bloodseeker because landing Steel Trap against a Demo Warlock is a bit hard. So yeah, that's kind of what I would say. Wait, I just learned? Wait. What? Steel Trap scales with haste? Wait, I didn't even know that. Wait, I'm learning. Wait. What? Bloodlust? Hello? It does! What? I did not even know that. Okay, we learned something new here today, boys. Why also Crows is insanely shit. Steel Trap apparently scales with haste. I did not know that. Okay. I pick Steel Trap 90% of your games, and then Bloodseeker into stuff like DMO, where it can become a bit hard to land the trap because there's so many pets around. I mean, Steel Trap is even good because of this new like Aegis trinket. I mean, Echoing Resolve, whatever. This thing, Echoing Resolve. So, you know, Maybe you kick a warlock and you steel trap him to remove the echoing resolve. But I mean, then again, I'll go into this later. I mean, steel trap, it's so good. Just pick this thing, and then sometimes maybe Bloodseeker. That's kind of all that I would say. Also, I was just thinking, one more thing that I want to talk about camo is the fact that even if your pet isn't stealth, kill command will not take your pet out of stealth. I repeat, kill command does not take your pet out of stealth. Now, what does actually take your pet out of stealth is pet bite and pet auto attack. So the way that you want to do this is you press, kill command into pet passive. Kill command, pet passive. One more time. Kill command, pet passive. So this is something that you can do into something like totems. Let's say there's an earth grab totem, earth bind, and you're in stealth, and you want to kill the totem while you're in stealth. This is how you kill totems in stealth without taking you out. So yeah, you can also, if you're a cheeky little guy, if you find a rogue, you can kill command the rogue, and both of you and your pet are still in stealth. So now you can maybe get like a better opener. Maybe now your priest, if you're playing Toost, can stun the rogue while you're in stealth, so he can't open, etc., etc. Blah blah blah. You guys can come up with your ideas of, there's a lot of possibilities you can do with this. I just wanted to let you guys know that's also something to know about camo. It's a very interesting spell. Then into 40, bro. What do we have? We have Born to be Wild, which you should never play. Posthaste, which you should always play. And then Binding Shot, which, I mean, in theory, it's not that bad. The only real issue is that Posthaste is just way too good. Like, I'm not. This is way too powerful. I'm not gonna recommend anything other than Posthaste. Just because Posthaste is just, I mean, it's just so good, right? Even into stuff like melee cleaves, where, I mean, the root would be pretty decent, sure, but, I mean, Posthaste, the movement speed, to chase people, to run away, to remove the slow, like, it adds so much tankiness as well. It's just, I don't know if I've played a single game without Posthaste. I can't live without it. I would just recommend Posthaste. But if you really want to try Binding, that is also a very okayable talent. But I would still recommend Posthaste in every single game. And here we have the debated 45 row. So we have Tip of the Spear, Mongoose Bite, and Flanking Strikes. Now, I would say that Flanking Strikes, in general, will be the better talent. However, if you have the foresight, there is a possibility that you might want to pick up Tip of the Spear. And the reason why is because if you're against a matchup where you're allowed to have high uptime all the time, this can do a lot of damage. So as an example, right, in the AWC tournament, I was against Ret Warrior, and I played Alpha Predator, Tip of the Spear, with Wildfire Infusion. Because against Ret Warrior, you can attack all the time. You never need to run away. I mean, even if you're running away, you're doing damage at the same time. They're never really gonna line of sight your damage. So you have 100% uptime. And if you have 100% uptime, you're gonna be so far ahead in your rotation where you're actually gonna press kill command. Because the issue with a lot of the matchups is that you won't get far ahead into your rotation where it becomes valuable to press kill command. So let me show you like an example, right? Let's say I have like a hit and run matchup, which is like 99% of matchups right now, where on average you might have uptime for like 10 seconds before either you sit CC or the enemies are gonna, press a defensive cooldown like evasion or vanish, or I don't know, like something where you can't attack them. It could be you know, if you're against a hunter, he might like feign death, run away from behind a pillar. It could be a Windwalker monk pressing Touch of Karma, or like porting away. It can be, I don't know, a DK maybe spam slowing you and then using, you know, their like mobility spell to get behind the pillar, etc., etc. Warrior can be, you know, leaping away. I don't know. There's actually not that many cases where you have super high uptime. So like what happens normally is that, you know, you might do a couple of globals, you know, here. Like you see how I'm doing damage right now. This is like standard rotation, I would say. But you see here, I'm 10 seconds in. I'm not even close to wanting to press kill command. Because, you know, I can press another bomb. I have a kill shot proc here. I need to reapply Serpent Sting. I have a lot of focus to spend, so I need to press Raptor Strike again. I need to press Bomb again. I can reapply this thing. And I can press Flayed Shot again. I got another kill shot proc. I need to press that. I need to reapply my bomb again. Now I have so much focus. I need to spend all of my focus. I got another proc. I need to spend this proc. Blah, blah, blah. So you can go like I mean, I would say on average, maybe you're spending around 15 seconds before you actually need to press kill command. Like where it becomes good in your rotation to press kill command. Because you don't have so many other buttons to press. Like you also have to, you know, make sure you press stun. You need to make sure you press tar trap. That's a global. You need to make sure you press wing clip. That's also a global that adds to the extra long time. You need to press, you know, freezing, which is maybe you need to press flare. Maybe your pet is dying. You need to press like acceleration or mend pet. Maybe you are under attack. You need to, you know, go away and like press Sheeta, run away, feign death, run behind a pillar, etc. Basically, what I'm saying is that there's a lot of matchups where you won't actually press kill command that often. Therefore, alpha and tip won't be super good. Now, this is not every single matchup. I'm just saying, like, the majority of matchups aren't gonna play out in a way where you press kill command a lot. So whenever, you know, you might ask me on stream, or you might see some other hunters, you know, come up with the idea of like, oh, if you have the foresight, you should always play you know, like Alpha Predator, Tip of the Spear, Wildfire Infusion every single game. Just know that while you, I mean, sure, you can do it, I don't think it's optimal at all. I think in the matchups that you don't have a lot of uptime, so against, you know, stuff like RMP, Windwalker Mage, maybe like Double Caster, there might be some more that I'm missing right now. Basically, like any hit and run playstyle comp. Even in twos. Like in twos, if you're against Feral Holy Priest, you might not actually have that high uptime. Because, you know, if you are ever attacking a Feral Druid, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but either you're gonna get CC'd, or you're gonna get Chastised Feared. The Feral might go for like a War Stomp clone, a Bash clone. He might press Bear Form and run away if you ever go for a Harpoon Trap. There's so many things that can stop you from doing damage, to where I think it shouldn't be a default to pick Tip of the Spear, Alpha Predator, Wildfire Infusion, and just solely rely on killing people down with, you know, like kill commands and stuff. Because kill command is a spell that you press when you're far ahead in your rotation. It shouldn't be like, you shouldn't open the game and do like, oh, Flayed Shot, double bomb. Let me just spam kill command and hope that I get a proc, you know? Because sure, in the times where you do get a proc, which is a 10% chance per kill command, because the way that you do the math is, it's 0.40 times 0.25, 10% chance, because you get a proc, you know, on the 25% chance, there's a 40% chance on the 25% chance. So it's a 10% chance you'll get a bomb proc per kill command. Now that is so low that it's not valuable to, you know, do this kill command when you could just press Raptor Strike. That does like so much more damage. You guys know what I mean? Okay, the damage numbers are a bit off because I'm hitting like Legion training dummies, but you guys know what I mean? I think you guys know what I mean. There's like 3 times the damage, you know? So maybe this was a bit ranty, but I hope that you guys understand. And then Mongoose Bite is kind of bad. Straight up, it's just not super amazing. Mongoose Bite actually has like anti-synergy with Alpha Predator, which is kind of sad. I mean, it doesn't actually have, but it's just not very good. It's hard to get the haste where it becomes good. In Legion, you also had, BFA, you had a 120 focus. So now you just have like a less focus in general. They also buffed Tip of the Spear by like a lot. I don't know. You can play Mongoose Bite if you really want to. It's just that I have tried it a bunch. I've compared them. It just feels so weird. Actually, Mongoose Bite does have anti-synergy with Flayed Shot. I can show you like a quick example, Like let's say you have Flayed Shot and then you spam a lot of stuff, I'm trying to get my Mongoose Bite window up. And now, oh my god, I got a kill shot proc. Now this is like a global that could be spent on your Mongoose Bite. And then now it's like, got kind of over. Okay, this was like a bit of a bad example, but in a real arena, it's really awkward because you want to press kill shot, if you get a kill shot proc, but then that kind of screws up your Mongoose Bite window. And then, you have to like press all the bombs and everything. I don't know. It's just, it's awkward. You can for sure play it if you really want to, but then again, I wouldn't really recommend it. I think if you don't want to play flanking strikes, you can for sure just go Tip of the Spear. It's kind of simple. It will all give you at least some value. It's pretty good as well if you have high uptime. I do recommend it. But I would say flanking strikes as a default is better. And the way that you can use flanking strikes as well is that, you can use it as a gap closer, or let's say you're bursting someone and you need a little bit of focus. You can maybe replace a kill command with a flanking strikes, so you can get the big damage. Like let's say, as an example, right, you're doing some damage, pressing Raptor Strike. I can maybe stun the healer over here, but now I need focus, right? Oh my god, press the flanking strikes. Dude, I get so much focus back, and now I can go back to spamming Raptor Strike. As an example. There's so many things you can do with this button. It does so much damage, gives you a lot of focus. Also, you can flanking strike kick people, let's say if you're at this distance. Mage is casting polymorph or whatever. Just flanking strikes kick instead of going for something like this, which can be kind of iffy sometimes, so... Very cool. I do recommend the spell. Kind of nice. But then again, just know that you can replace it with Tip. Okay, anyway, let's go. I think I kind of talked about the level 50 row as well. If you're in a matchup where you have high uptime, Wildfire Infusion is really sick because the way that it works with the force set. Now, I don't have the force set, so I can't really show you. But, you kind of always want to make sure that you have at least one bomb available, if possible. So whenever you get the actual proc, what you can do is that you can like spend, like your next global after you get the kill command thing, tier set bonus, that does 80% more damage. Gotta make sure that you at least have one bomb available, and then after that you can just bomb twice and the effect won't get removed because they are different effects, so the dot can it can stay, it can do a lot of damage. I do recommend it, but note that this has to be a matchup where you have high uptime. Otherwise chakrams is better, I would say. Main reason why is because chakrams, if you don't know how the tooltip works, because it looks a bit weird, I'm gonna have to be a bit honest. So think about it like this. Okay, so it does damage twice, so that's 1700 plus 1700, right? 3400. So that's how much damage it does, and then it does 100% more damage on the main target. So 3400 times 2, it does 6800 damage, which is the same, if not a bit more, than our Raptor Strike. So if you want to change the tooltip in a way where chakrams makes more sense, because I get so annoyed every single time that I like go through details and then chakrams is maybe like I don't know, 4 to 6% of my damage overall. And then someone say like, oh my god, why do you play chakrams? It's so bad. It's only like 5% of your damage overall. But the thing is, you can imagine chakrams. Change the tooltip to this. I need to go to paint. This is my biggest pet peeve of all time. I'm gonna make it dark mode because I'm on the wrong scene. I'm so sorry. Here, let me make it dark mode. Change the tooltip to this. Here, this. Okay, here we go. Just change it to this. I'll make it yellow. Your next Raptor Strike cost 15 less focus, has 40 yard range, and does 15% more damage every 20 seconds. Isn't this really good? You know? If you think about chakrams like this, the next Raptor Strike you press costs less focus, has 40 yard range, and does more damage every 20 seconds. Because that's basically, you know, because it costs 15 instead of 30. You know, it does like more damage, 40 yard range. You guys know what I mean? It doesn't like it's just a ranged Raptor Strike that's just a bit better, right? You don't have to compare this to like God amongst men talents. Like, sure, it's not the best in the world, right? But it's not that bad, okay? It's not that bad. It's definitely good. I would recommend it for sure. But then again, if you're in a game matchup where you have high uptime, blah blah blah, Wildfire Infusion with the Spear, Alpha Predator, this build does a lot of damage with Foresight. If you don't have Foresight, or even if you have Foresight, you can still play flanking chakrams in the majority of matchups because, as I said earlier, the majority of matchups you won't actually have that high of an uptime to where it actually becomes beneficial for you to press kill command. Okay, rant over. But now you might be asking, but why are you going Alpha Predator with the Foresight anyway? Oh man, I'm glad you asked. So the reason why you actually want to go Alpha Predator with the Foresight anyway, even though I just said that you don't actually press kill command that often, is because if you are kiting someone, without Alpha Predator, the only time that is ever good to fish for procs is if you're in a scenario where your option is either pressing kill command or doing nothing. Now, in some states of the game, this can be a reality, you know, where like both teams are not doing anything, they're just waiting, you know, they're just chilling hard, you know. In a scenario like that, it can be good to just kind of just wait, you know, just play like this. I don't know, just spam kill command, even if you're at 100 focus, because like what else am I gonna do? You know, I can throw like a chakrams and then like, now what? You know, I'm just waiting. Like there can be some cases like where the matchup kind of looks like this, you know, where you're just chilling and not really doing anything. Also, one fun fact you can do is, I guess, kill command is 50 yard range. So if you want to be a little bit of a cheese lord, you're against someone that is also having a 40 yard range thing, you can like outrange them, which, I mean, I guess that's kind of fun. So yeah, these scenarios don't happen that often, but I mean, they definitely do happen enough to where I feel like having Alpha Predator for moments like this will be better than Viper's Venom, if that makes any sense. So yeah, I think I talked about the talents now. So let's just get over with the other thing. Let's start with the default. So you might have see these talents. I would say that these should be like your default talents. Also, you might be asking, oh my god, why are you going survival tactics? Isn't Craven stratagem the same, kinda? Well, no, not really. Okay, so the way that survival tactics works is that you get a 90% damage reduction for 1.5 seconds after you press Feign Death. See here, I take less damage. Very good. Whereas this just removes everything, right? So this only removes magical effects. That's it. If it's not a magical effect, it will not remove it. It won't remove poison or physical slows, physical root, disease, curse, whatever, you know? Craven Stratagem removes everything. Also, fun fact, it actually removes stuff. It's not a dispel. So, Craven doesn't actually trigger stuff like UA dispel or the Shadow Priest Horrify whenever you get rid of VT. It doesn't trigger, I don't know, let's say like an example, the Mage Ventir legendary for fun, like this one, where if Mirrors of Torment is the spell, the CD is reduced by 45. Craven doesn't trigger that because it doesn't actually dispel anything, it removes stuff. That's a fun interaction. Good to know. So yeah, you pick survival tactics for the shield, not for anything else. So as an example, let's say there is a death bolt flying in the air. You can press feign death and you can basically immune all the damage. Or if there is a monk pressing spinning crane kick, you can press feign death, basically immune all the damage. The red paladin, pressing whatever the like Necrolord hammer into what's the spell called? I feel like I'm really spaced out. What is the spell called? Currently going with talents right now. Here are the super excellent guides coming out of Bicmex WoW over here. Spec Templar's Verdict, yes. If you see Templar's Verdict with the red Necrolord thing that also does the Divine Storm at the same time, if you feign death on his divine, on the Templar's Verdict, you dead ass, I'm not even kidding, will feign death like 25 to 30k damage. Like, shit, bro, this shit's kind of good. Or a warrior pressing charge, he's most likely gonna press execute, stuff like that, maybe a Star Surge, a Chaos Bolt flying in the air, Frost Bolt flying in the air. Okay, you guys know the drill. It's the damage reduction. Very good. Do recommend it. And then about Warp Sacrifice. I think all of you guys know what this is. You can give it to your teammates. You can give it to yourself. It makes you immune to crits. Pretty decent. There are some interactions about Roar of Sacrifice that you guys have to know. Very important. Very important. Number 1. Roar of Sacrifice gets casted by the hunter, not the pet. But it does require the pet to not be in CC, except for disorients. So as an example, right? Let's say I have a teammate that is vibing over here, So even though my pet... Okay, let me stand on him. Even though my pet is 55 yards away... actually, it requires 40 yards from the pet. But the pet ignores line of sight. Oh man, how do I explain this? Okay, let me go like over here. I think this should explain it. Okay. So, the conditions for Roar of Sacrifice. The pet has to be within 40 yards of the target that gets the Roar of Sacrifice buff. But this ignores line of sight from the pet. So you see here, right now, my pet is not in line of sight of this Holt Thunderhorn guy, but he is within 40 yards. So therefore, I can use Roar of Sacrifice on him. I mean, I can't because he's not a player, but I think you guys understand what I mean. Another example could be, let's say I am out of line. Let's say I am over here, but my pet is over here. Now I can't use Roar of Sacrifice because I'm not in line of sight, because it's Hunter line of sight. Another example could be, let's say you're in a smoke bomb. The rogue spell smoke bomb. I can now press Roar of Sacrifice on myself, even though my pet can't see inside the smoke bomb, because it's not pet line of sight, it's the hunter's line of sight. Also, the hunter can be CC'd and he can still use Roar of Sacrifice, but the pet can't, except for disorients. Now, what do I mean by disorients? So this is stuff like Dragon's Breath, or the rogue spell Blind, or the Paladin's Blind, this little spell. I think I just closed down the paint. So go back here. You know this one? The Blinding Light. Any type of Disorient, the pet can still... like, for some reason, Disorient doesn't count as like a real CC. I don't know why. You know, your pet can be disorientated. You can still use Kill Command or Intimidation. So a fun thing you can do against a mage, you know, let's say a mage tries to like DB ring your pet. You can still use Intimidation while the pet is in a Dragon's Breath, because Disorients just... It's not a real CC for some reason. So yeah, good times. I hope that explains it. Also, very important about the pet line of sight that I wanted to like... I mean, like pet being within 40 yards. So you see here, my pet is within 40 yards over here. So if I have a teammate over here, I can't use Roar of Sacrifice on this teammate because my pet is not within 40 yards of the target. Important. But let's say if this is line of sight, you know, let's pretend this tree is line of sight. In this scenario, I can still use Roar of Sacrifice because pet is within 40 yards and I'm also within 40 yards. I hope that explains it. The spell, it's a bit weird sometimes, but yeah, that's how you use Roar of Sacrifice. And also, yeah, it just means crit. It makes you crit immune. Good against like Combustion, Rogues, Ret Paladins, Warriors, I don't know, Demo Warlocks, Windwalker Monk. Basically, just go to Sunam. Let's see here. It's good against every class. Demon Hunter is good. It's good against this class. Fury, Ret, Sub, Feral, Windwalker. It's good against Unholy. Good against Assa. Really good against Outlaw, actually. Not that good into Shadow. Really good into Fire. Really good into Demo. Really good into Frost. Good into Destro. Good into Ellie. Good into BM Hunters. Good into Balance. Not that good into Affli. Good into MM. Basically everything except for like 2 classes. There's like Shadow, not amazing. Affli, not amazing. Yeah, every other class, Roar of Sacrifice, very good. So what else do we have? We have Hunting Pack. This talent is like pretty half decent as well. The biggest issue is that for the most part you'll just have better talents available, so I don't know. Sticky Tar, this is complete garbage. Never pick this talent ever in your entire life. Tracker's Net is actually not that bad. I have been playing this in some matchups where other talents just don't really do that much. So as an example, let's say you are against Sub-Rogue Holy Priest. You can now pick Tracker's Net. Wow. Because now maybe you can like root the rogue on his kidney, so he will do less damage to peel for your healer. I mean, the only real issue is that for the most part, it's gonna, you know, it's gonna break kind of fast. So I don't know. I do pick it sometimes into Outlaw rogues, because into Outlaw they have you know, evasion up so often, but just because they have the EV, you can't apply dots to them. So usually at the end of their EV, they the dots should be over, right? Which means you can press Tracker's Net during this time, and then maybe you can like get away, you know, you can root them and stuff. So very good into Outlaw, I would say. Recommend. Some other matchups is actually Affliction Warlock Holy Priest. The reason why is because you can maybe Tracker's Net the healer, which is usually, you know, a Holy Priest, and then you can Steel Trap the Warlock, because usually how they kill you is that they will run in, they will fear your priest or your Resto Druid, they will press mind games on him and then soul rot and then completely bang him. But if you're a smart hunter and you realize that you're gonna kill your healer, just Tracker's Net their Holy Priest, Steel Trap the Affli Warlock, and then just run away. And then the entire go is like over. Press Wing Clip, just peel the go. Pretty good. You can also use Tracker's Net now with the new Aegis Resolve, Echoing Resolve with this trinket. So if you ever face a Warlock with this trinket, you know, maybe you can press Tracker's Net to remove the effect so you can then later kick them or stun them, etc, etc. Maybe not the best because, I mean, you can use Steel Trap for this as well, but I mean, it's an option. You can think about it. Diamond Eyes is mainly going to be used into sometimes Shadow Priest, sometimes Demon Hunter, sometimes Outlaw Rogue. Basically, I mean, you can also pick it into Warlocks if you don't want them to press Imp the spell. But I feel like usually it's worth the trade-off because if you don't go Diamond Eyes, I mean, if you play regular Trap, they have to play Imp, so they can't kick your healer or your teammate, whatever. But if you play Diamond Eyes, they can just play Fell Hunter, and now they have like an interrupt. Whereas you can just play like a real talent and then press Hunter's Mark and then Trap at the same time. And now it becomes a 50-50, either, you know, if he gets the Imp, I mean, if he gets the Hunter's Mark or the, but the Singed Magic, Wowhead, this thing, you know, they can dispel one effect, but like, it's kind of RNG, you know, either they get the Hunter's Mark or the, you know. I still think that that's better than going Diamond Eyes and then securing that you have a trap, but then again, he gets a kick, so I don't know. You can play around with it. Also, as I said earlier, you can pick it into stuff like Outlaw Rogues or maybe Demon Hunters. These classes can be kind of annoying. They can do a lot of damage. You can just press Diamond Eyes on them and then just go on the healer, you know? And then, yeah, you could just vibe, maybe root them off and then go on the healer again. Just so you can live, you know? That's also like a viable way to play. Other than that, maybe against Shadow Priest if you don't want them to master spell because you can't master spell Diamond Eyes. But then again, I feel like you could just, you know, you can silence them, you can kick them, stun them maybe. So I wouldn't really recommend it in most games, but yeah. Other than that, we have Knock Trap. Now, Knock Trap is mainly a talent you're gonna pick depending on the map. So maybe in matchups where either you don't need Chimerial, Ross, or Tactics, you can drop this for, you know, you can drop like either one of them for Knock Trap on maps with like elevation. So that is the Dalaran Arena, Blade's Edge, maybe Mugambala, maybe Robodrome. I might be missing some maps. You can also pick it into stuff like Assa Rogue. So if I'm against an Assa Rogue, I might play something like this. And then if the Rogue ever presses Kidney Shot on my healer, what I can do is press Knock Trap and then press Harpoon. Because now the Rogue is going to get knocked kind of far away, and then, you know, I have a clip actually I can kind of show. Just as an example of what you can do. Clips here. So you see here, I press Knock Trap, I then press Harpoon. Now this is just like a little bug, you know, the fact, but like, okay, the guys, don't do any bugs. This is just like just something, but this is just to like showcase, you know, like you press Vendetta, I can knock him away and then press Harpoon, and my healer is fine. I press Freedom on my healer as well. He can run away and go be fast, you know. So this is very cool. You can do into Assa Rogues. Yeah, I recommend. It's good into like sub rogues as well, but usually sub rogues you're gonna sit CC. Yeah, like you're gonna get chastised, feared, so it's not as reliable. I mean, you can try it into sub rogues as well, because like sub rogues you can kind of play stuff like this, and you're completely fine as well. And then, you know, like into casters, because, you know, usually you will find yourself in a scenario where like you're into a caster and you don't want to use tactics. I mean, Knock Trap is pretty good. You know, it's for sure good. One thing you have to take in note though is that if you're playing with a Rdruid, be very aware that you will fuck up their Vortex, which is not good at all actually. Spec, where's Vortex? here. You know the like vortex thing, because this puts them on knock trap DR. Can be kind of awkward, so I would only really recommend knock trap if you're playing with not a Resto Druid, so maybe like a priest. Keep that in mind. Be very cautious. Dragon Skill Armor, you just pick this into like Affliction Warlocks instead of Roar of Sacrifice. That's kind of it. I don't know, because Affliction Warlocks never really crit anyway. Plus Roar of Sacrifice just make your pet die. So I don't know. This just like you can just pick this instead of like Ross. Like let's say for example, if I'm against Affliction Warlock in 2s or 3s, maybe I can play these talents, or maybe this, or maybe this, maybe this, as an example. And then we have Trank Darts. Now, you only really want to pick this into Resto Druids and sometime Mage for Alter Time and Combustion, because you can, you know, guarantee that you remove them by like a little bit. But then again, I would only really pick it into Resto Druid teams, and the reason why is because every single time that let's say this is you know, a warrior, and then the warrior has like Life Bloom, Rejuve, Wild Growth, whatever. I can then press Trank. I will now remove one buff, and all of the other dispellable buffs will get removed by 4 seconds. Same thing if I'm against maybe like Affliction Warlock or Rdruid, and if I kick the Warlock while he has a bunch of hots, I will now remove 4 seconds of like every debuff. I mean buff, you know? So very good into Resto Druids. I do recommend it. Pick this talent. Yeah, big fan. Also, some people think that it releases 8 darts at nearby enemies. People think that this is like castable from you. No, it's okay. It's castable from the person that you press Purge on and the person that you press Kick. It doesn't shoot out from you or the person that, you know, it's the person that you press Purge gets the buffs reduced. I just want to make sure, because for some reason people have been asking me, so yeah, that's how it works. And here we have the sleeper talent, Wild Kingdom. Oh my god, I love Wild Kingdom. Currently at the moment there's a bug. I don't know why. Make sure you check your game. On some hunter accounts, they can't use Wild Kingdom to rest their pet. I have no clue why. No idea. But that's just the way it is. I can show you what I mean. I guess I can go to Borealis. It has like a tank dummy. But there's something about Wild Kingdom. You guys have to like check it yourself. Where sometimes if you press Wild Kingdom when your pet is dead, then your pet is not going to come back. Actually, I can just go to Haven. I can show you. So yeah, the bug happens because your pet health frame, if it's still active when the pet is dead, Wild Kingdom will now rest your pet. So let me show you like a little example. Let me get some guys over here. Here's some mobs. This guy, and then I can go over this guy. Maybe one more. I can misdirect my pet over here to these guys as well. And let's see, hopefully they can kill my pet. Slow and steady. Oh wait, I just pressed misdirect, which is my Wild Kingdom bug. Oh my god, this is never mind. This guy is so unbelievably scuffed. I completely forgot that I have misdirection and Wild Kingdom keybinded because it's my... Okay, I can show you one more time. Okay, let's go. So I guess you guys can skip ahead in a little bit in the guide, but I mean, then again, you know, whatever. The best thing about being me, right, is that it doesn't actually matter how bad my guides are. People still like them. I don't know why. You know, whatever, but yeah, you guys just have to deal with this, basically. I'm dealing with some shit guides. So my pet's gonna die. I can show you just to demonstrate. Okay, you see, the pet is dead. I then press Wild Kingdom right here. And then I wait until the buff is over. And Wild Kingdom should rest my pet. Wow, he's back. You see? So for some hunters, it's bugged. I don't know why. You guys can like check it for yourself. I know, for example, SSDS, for him, it like never really works. He kind of always says that like, oh, you can't rest the pet because the pet is dead, as an example, you know. But for me, it always works. Just check it out. So yeah, like I pick Wild Kingdom into matchups where resting the pet is like borderline impossible. So maybe against something like a turbo, you know, they can tab target my pet, kill it instantly, and then it's gonna be impossible for me to get it back because like I can't get a re-stealth because the warrior can just heroic leap. You know, he can press like Earthbind the totem and get me out of stealth, or blah blah blah. The healer can like go in and bash me, hodge me, whatever. Consecration, like, you know, it's like it's way too hard. You can't get your pet back. It's like impossible unless you do some like triple CC or whatever. But yeah. So in those matchups, if your pet dies, doesn't really matter. You can just Wild Kingdom it back. But so yeah. So into those matchups, I usually play something like this. You know, Ross Wild Kingdom with Tactics. But if you're against a like a melee cleave and then you know they're never gonna target you ever, you can maybe go Chimerial as well if you really want to. But yeah, those are the talents. I think I kind of went over everything. So if you guys remembered what I said, every single talent is playable except for Sticky Tar. So it just comes down to the situation and depends on the scenario, you know. There's also like a lot of matchups where I don't even know what is the best one. Like into Sub Holy, do you go Tracker's Net for the rogue? Do you go Knock Trap to knock the rogue away? Do you maybe go Survival Tactics so you can live a little bit easier? But then usually they kill your healer anyway. So I've even been experimenting with Mending Bandage into Sub Holy Priest, because if my Holy Priest presses Guardian on himself while he's in a stun, my Mending Bandage will do like 70% of his health as a heal, you know, because it gets affected by the Guardian. So Mending Bandage actually not even that bad. You can actually play it. It's kind of funny, the fact that you just like Mending Bandage your healer to save him against Sub Holy Priest in twos, but I mean, you can. It's doable. 10 out of 10. Yeah, you know, just play around. Like, the good thing about survival, there's so many talents you can play. It's so fun. But so just experiment. Just try something out. Maybe you want to go Hunting Pack, for example. I mean, it's for sure decent. Yeah. Also, I haven't talked about Chimerial's thing, but okay. For the people that don't know, Chimerial is very good. It's you can use it on the kill target to silence them. You can use it on the healer to silence the healer. You can use it on I don't know, the off target to silence them as well. Mainly it's being used for the silence, but I mean the slow and damage kind of also matters a bit. One thing that is actually very good against Chimerial is that the slow will always happen, and then the silence will always happen, and then the Viper's Venom will always happen. So let's say, for example, you stun someone and then you press Chimerial. If they trinket the stun, they will also trinket the slow. And if they trinket the slow, they will be silenced, right? So what you can do, as an example, let's say you are stunning a healer with like, I don't know, like 10k HP, and they have their trinket ready. You know for sure they're 100% going to insta trinket your stun. What you can do is you can Chimerial and then stun them. They will then trinket the stun, and then they're gonna get silenced for 3 seconds, and now you can kill them in the silence. Wow, this is some advanced techniques, but it's very like you know, reasonable. I mean, this is something that you can do for sure. Or if you're against a druid that has the tranquility talent, this one. So if you have, like, you know how you're immune to stuff, right? But you're not actually immune to the silence if you already have the slow attached. So let's say, for example, if I slow a druid, he then presses tranquility. As the silence will proc, it will stop his tranquility. Also, from something you can do to like predict if a druid is like very low HP, like let's say they're like 10k HP, you know that they're gonna press trank, you know, just press, like preemptively press chimerial, and then when they inevitably press tranquility, they're gonna get silenced, and then you can kill them. Very cool. Well, do recommend it for sure. One thing you have to be afraid of though is that all of these effects are poisons, even the silence, which means that healers that can dispel poisons, or even DPS players that can dispel the poison, such as like Windwalker Monk, Druids, so Feral and Boomy can dispel the silence from their healer. Ret Paladins can dispel the silence from their healer, so that's something to keep in mind. But other than that, it's a good default. I would recommend it in like most matchups. Pretty sick. And then I want to be talking about the gear. So, how the gear situation is looking. Kind of looking like this. The first thing that I would recommend is getting a good amount of haste. Now, I would say that the best haste is personal preference. What the fuck? I know, isn't that crazy? It's up to personal preference. And the reason why is because haste is the only stat in the game that scales off your skill. So, if you are really good at the game and you can do your DPS rotation very good, like you see here, I'm pressing the buttons every single time that they're up. This is a skill you have to learn, and you only learn it by playing survival a lot. So let's say you're like a beginner hunter, and you know, it might be hard to, you know, worry about your positioning, decision making, your teammate, where your teammate is, knowing what the enemies are gonna do, playing around, like thinking for the future, like, you know, if you're gonna do like a harpoon trap, stun trap, disengage trap, if your healer wants to fear first, if you want to like stun and then do a tar trap, should I preemptively kite, you know, should I press a wing clip here? There's so many things going on at the same time, and while you're thinking about doing all of that, you're expected to just have 100% uptime on all of your globals. Like, what the fuck? That shit's way too hard. So don't feel so bad about yourself if you're messing up your DPS rotation, because it's kind of hard. So, with that out of the way, there are 3 haste breakpoints that I would recommend. So the first one is 1.20 GCD. Now, the good thing about having 1.20 GCD is that this is the GCD that allows you to do stun 3 damage globals into trap. So while this is technically possible with 1.22 GCD, I would say 1.20 is way more reliable. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So let's say I do stun 1, 2, 3, trap. You saw there, I didn't leave a gap, the healer couldn't heal, and you got 3 damage globals. That's a lot of damage. So note that this obviously doesn't work against foos, or human with the Rella trinket, or orcs with the stun reduction. So I would still, for the most part, recommend doing stun into 2 damage globals into trap. But, you know, if you want to mid-max, if you know that the healer doesn't have a stun reduction, very good. I would recommend stun 3 damage globals into trap. Also note, maybe a bit obvious, trap has a travel time, so this only works if you are on top of the healer. So you do stun 1, 2, 3, trap. You know, like you actually have to be melee range. You can't just like 1, 2, 3 and then trap from this distance, because then, you know, the travel time of the trap gonna make it a bit impossible. So therefore you have to do stun, 1, 2, trap, you know, at a distance. So yeah. But I would say that like the minimum amount of haste that I would recommend is 1.20. So this is 24.50, because this 9 rounds up to a 5 and then the 50. Yeah, 24.50. I can type it here as well. So if you want to play with 1.20 GCD, which is very doable, you know, that's 1.20 GCD equals 24.50% haste. You can do that for sure. The second breakpoint is going to be 1.19. This is just like a little bit more haste, you know, like it's just more haste. And this is 25.53. I'm pretty close to 25.53. So with the way that I have my gear set up, I'm a big fan. I'm gonna type it as well. 1.19 GCD equals 25.53. And then second off, if you have like a little bit more gear, like a little bit more haste, if you're very confident in your rotation, you can go for 1.18. You know, maybe this is going to be the haste breakpoint you get if you have like insignia, and then you can maybe remove like a couple of haste pieces. You know, maybe like you see here, like I have a both haste verse and crit verse shoulders. So I have the crit hands as well. Maybe you can get like the crit bracers. You know, as something like a crit back. You know, maybe you have like more pieces to replace. You know, that would be 26.59. So if you want to go for 26.59, you know, 26.59. These are also like very good. You know, you can go for them for sure if you really want to. But yeah. So, I mean, actually, how close is this? So if I have 1.16, am I actually close to the breakpoint? So this breakpoint, if I, you know, because I have 1.16 with insignia, it'll be 28.76. Okay, I have a little bit too much haste, you know, because this is 28.76. But yeah. I would say just stick to these three. Like anything more than that, it's gonna be like too hard for you to really do your rotation properly. So I would say that is like a nice default. But then again, you know, if you have insignia a lot of the time, you know, I would recommend maybe removing some of your haste gear. But you know, yeah, yeah. That's kind of me. I feel like this is, I mean, you can obviously play with this amount of haste. I just feel like you're going to get more value out of your other stats. So these are the three that I would recommend. 1.20, 1.18, 1.19. Anything more than that, I mean, it's playable, but it's going to be harder, just so you guys know. And the secondary stat that I would try to reach is 20% crit. Now, why do you want to have 20% crit? Oh, let me tell you why. So the reason why you want to have 20% crit is because the new Unity Legendary scales so unbelievably well with crit. Because of this, right? Kill shot rank 2. Here. Kill shot crit damage is increased by 25%. So crit in general just does more, because kill shot does more damage from crits, right? Because it has a higher crit modifier. So this is just like 60% of the damage dealt by the kill shot. So let's say, as an example, right? If you crit someone for 20k, you will now apply a 12k bleed to someone. What? Isn't that ridiculous? So your 20k killshot crit turns into a 32k killshot. Single target. And note that the 20k killshot bleed now also gets spread around to all of the other boys nearby. Like, what? Crit is very good. Super valuable stat. Definitely would recommend having around 20%. Maybe 25. I feel like anything above that, you might just rather have extra haste or extra verse, but you know, I mean, you can't really go too wrong. I mean, look at this. Now I crit for 1 billion. Dude, look. Oh my god. It's way too crazy. I would recommend it for sure. Also one thing to know about the bleed is that the bleed can stack on top of itself. So let's say, for example, if you get 2 kill shot procs in a row, you don't have to space out the you know, you like you can press a kill shot into your kill shot and you won't lose any damage because like it just becomes one better dot. You guys know what I mean? So if you ever, you know, try to space out your kill shots, just know that it's not necessary. You don't have to. You can send a kill shot into your kill shot. You won't lose any damage. Just so you know, that is valuable information. And yeah, and after that, just try to get some verse. I do feel like the verse is very, very overrated. I mean, even like going for 30% verse would be like okay. As an example, like a lot of the classes in the AWC were playing, you know, like 32, 30. I even saw some warlocks playing with like 28% verse because, you know, they really want to have like as much mastery and haste as they can. So while verse isn't terrible, with the new set bonus, it's not gonna be the end all be all best stat. I mean, it's good, right? You know, you see, like I have like the majority of my stat weight is verse, but you know, you can go for like 30%. That would be completely fine. You can even go for like 28. You can maybe play for like 32. I would never, ever, ever recommend having like 38, 40% verse. You know, because at that point, just get more haste and more crit and you'll do more damage, you know? So it's a very overrated stat. So that's, I just want to, I hope everyone's on the same page. Verse, while it's good, I would way rather right now have, you know, a couple more crit pieces than like verse, you know? Like I say, like I'm not enchanting verse. Because why would I enchant verse? Right? Like what's the point? I have so much it's crit that I want, you know? So yeah. That's kind of what I would say with the gear. Quickly touching about the tier set. So I already kind of talked about the tier set with the talent section, but I don't know if you guys noticed, but the force set is very good. I recommend it to have it in PvP. The piece you don't want to have is the legs because they have mastery. So you'll be running around with the helmet, the shoulders, the chest, and the hands. And you see how they all have haste verse, crit haste, crit verse, crit haste. What? They're all the stats that you want. So you can have best in slot stats plus your force set at the same time. So you don't have to be like a warrior that gets really sad when he picks up his tier set and he needs to have like a haste mastery piece, you know, or something, or like a mastery crit piece, you know, as like a ret paladin. You can just, you'll have your best stats and the tier set at the same time. Wow, aren't we fortunate? Yeah, big fan. Just pick up these pieces. Legs are kind of crit. I mean, legs not good. Yeah. Also, talking about where you should have your legendaries. So the one that I would recommend is Craven Stratagem. There are some other ones as well if you want to experiment, but I tend to notice that if you don't want to play Craven, there has to be like some very good reason to, because I mean this legendary is just way too busted. You can remove any slow in the game, any root, any damage effect. I mean, it's like way too power. Just please, for the love of God, just Craven Stratagem. Like, do you guys know how many forum threads there have been about Craven being overpowered? Do you think anyone in their entire life has made a thread complaining that, guys, you know what? Latent Poison is too strong right now. Can we please nerf it? No, it doesn't happen. Just stick to Craven, and if you don't want to play Craven, I mean, you can. Yeah, I mean, maybe Latent Poison, maybe Wildfire Cluster, but I mean, then again, like at this point, okay, here's the thing. I'm not gonna recommend another legendary other than Craven, because I would just do a like disservice to every single hunter that is watching my guide right now. I would actually make you lose if I put like a seed in your head that maybe it's possible to pick something other than Craven. Because just pick Craven. It's just pick it. Just use the legendary. Don't worry about Latent Poison or Wildfire Cluster or Call of the Wild. You know? Use this. I'm a big fan. On a real note though, maybe in like some cases you can maybe go Call of the Wild into like Rogue Mage, because Craven doesn't do that much. But even in Rogue Mage, you can like feign Death Polymorph more often, so you sit less CC. I don't know, like just go Craven. That's kind of just what I would say. It's really good, but if you want to experiment, you can pick. Oh shit! Let me go here. Call of the Wild, Latent Poison, or Cluster. Everything else kind of just bad, I would say. Maybe if you're Orc, you can play Orc Suffuse, because then you take 30% off stuns. You know, maybe. But I mean, then again, Craven is just pretty half decent, I would say. So next up, I want to talk about the pets. So here's a stable master right here. What's up? So there are kind of 4 pets, maybe 5 that I would recommend. So the number 1 will be an Undead Raptor. I'm pretty sure everyone has seen Undead Raptors. They're nothing new, nothing special. Let me go to Petopia. Let me show you what they do and where you get them. So here, Cunning. Click on Raptor. So here is how you get the simple tome. Basically, you just kill mobs in Maldraxxus, or the dungeon, you know, blah blah blah, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. You just, you know, I think there's like enough guides on how to get this actual item, you know. Here are all the pets you want to tame, you know. I like Reban. I think it looked kind of cool, but if you want to have one of these pets, they do the exact same thing as well, you know. Maybe we'll have the gray one. He's right here on the map. You can get him if you don't want to have Reban, for example. Now, you might be asking, hey, why do I want to have an undead pet? And the reason why is because they are immune to a lot of CC effects, such as Sap, Polymorph, Hex, Imprison, Hibernate, Scare Beast, etc. Like WoW Wiki, is it Wowpedia CC? I think it's not this one. Is it this one? Maybe. Hell yeah, it is. Okay, look. So you see, undead, right? You know, they can't be imprisoned. You can't hibernate, or Scare Beast, or Polymorph, or Sap, or Hex. But then on, you know, the downside, you can repent and shackle undead and also turn evil. And you can also wake off ashes. Oh nay. This stuns undead. So interpret paladins or priest, you don't really want to have an undead pet. So in these cases, you just pick like a regular MS pet. You know, one of these bad boys. I just have this one because it looks kind of similar, so people can get confused sometimes. But I mean, this secondary pet can be... Wait, did I close down Petopia? No, I didn't. Okay. You know, it can be any raptor, you know, or a hyena if you want. Maybe a rodent. There's some new Sereth Mortis boys. You know, very cool. So yeah. That would be your secondary pet that I would recommend having. And then I'd say these two pets are gonna be 95% of all of your games. So these are for sure the most important ones. And then the third pet I would recommend is a ferocity pet that has bloodlust and leech. So the bloodlust effect doesn't really do that much, you know, because you can't use bloodlust in an arena. But the leech can be pretty half decent. As I was saying earlier, you can pick this into stuff like Demo Warlocks, because, you know, whenever you press bomb, you will also press bomb on all of his pets, you know, the Fell Imps or whatever. Every single time you press kill shot, you know, you will also spread the kill shot bleed to all of his pets. So you heal for a lot into Demo Warlocks. And I mean, Demo Warlocks don't even have like a root anyway. So there's nothing really to use freedom on. So yeah, that's like the one matchup where I would say having a leech pet is really insane. You heal for like a lot actually into Demo. But yeah, other than that, you can also have a tank pet for the extra health and the damage reduction. So maybe into stuff like, I don't know, Rogue Mage sometimes. Now I prefer Master's Call into Rogue Mage, because I like to you know, use it on the root, the Frost Nova. But I have seen a lot of hunters use tank pets into Rogue Mage, so that's something you can do as well. Also, if you want to be extremely cheeky, there is a way to summon a new pet in an arena. So if you guys remember what I was saying earlier about the Door of Shadows into Feigned Camo, now you can actually change pet during this window as well. So let's say, for example, I guess Rogue Mage in the opener, you know, I can use my my damage reduction. And then after this, I can now use Door of Shadows. And during the animation, you can spam your call pet, and you can summon a new pet. So you saw there, like, how I had a, you know, a tank pet. Now I have a Reban chilling here. Dude, that's so fun to do. It's really cool. Also into mages and stuff like that, you can maybe swap around. Like, let's say if a priest tries to like shackle your pet, you know, you can then like swap pet to a beast pet, and then he can't shackle. You can like confuse people, because like people don't think you can swap pets in arena, but you actually can. So yeah, that's a fun that's a fun tip and trick. This might get patched, I don't know, but at the moment it works. So just keep it on the down low, chat. No one has to know that you can change pets in arena. No one has to know. I think that's it when it comes with the pets, right? I'm trying to think if there's like any other like secret thing you can do with pets. Nah, not really. That's kind of it. I guess I could talk about like pet control and stuff. So I would personally recommend having your pet always on passive, since this allows you to have more control over your pet. You see how like I can do my full damage rotation while my pet just kind of chills next to me and doesn't really do anything. Or let's say I have my pet, like I send him to a rogue that is trying to get a re-stealth, and then I can like attack a mage, for example. And then if I want to mid-max, you know, I can like tab target rogue, kill command rogue to get focus, and then I can just go back to the mage, etc. You can also do this to stop people from drinking. Yeah. Or let's say there's like a windwalker that wants to press leg sweep on both me and my pet. Or like the most common thing is that let's say this is like a windwalker on my healer, right? I know that the windwalker wants to leg sweep my healer, because you can't use Roar of Sacrifice while your pet is stunned. So I preemptively move my pet away, and then he's gonna press leg sweep on my healer, and then I can use Roar of Sacrifice as an example. So that is something that you can do for sure as well. So Or maybe there's like a mage pressing DB ring, and then your pet is stuck in the ring. You know, you can just like have your pet chilling inside the ring, and you can you don't have to worry about your pet walking into the ring. Or as an example, let's say you're against I don't know, rogue holy priest, and then there is a priest. He presses chastise, and then he runs in for a fear. You know he's gonna press fear, so then you can like preemptively move your pet away, so your pet doesn't get feared. And now you can maybe use freedom on your healer if he needs to run away, or you can use War of Sacrifice on yourself so you can live the go. As an example, like I just recommend have one button for pet attack, and then one button for pet passive, which I have bounded into my mount. So yeah, that's kind of what I would say. I think that's about it with the pets. So I'll go talk a little bit about the conduits now. So Upsidays, things has changed. The marksman advantage conduit is now garbage. They have fixed the bug. You can't have it up permanently anymore. I think it's too awkward to use. So yeah, I would recommend playing with Resilience of the Hunter and Rejuvenating Wind. Now, you can also play Condensed Animosphere. Now, the issue that I have with Condensed Animosphere is that I feel like I mean, it's like so little healing because it's nerfed by half in PvP. You know, it's like 2.5% of your HP every 10 seconds. I would way rather have a little bit of extra healing on demand instead of just a little bit more healing over the course of the game. Because ultimately, I think that Condensed Animosphere is only really good for looking at details at the end of the game and being like, oh man, I healed for so much that game, wow. But it never really saves you. Like, it doesn't really do anything, right? The only thing that Animosphere does is that it makes your holy priests renew overheal a little bit more. Because if you guys want to be completely honest with yourself, there are a lot of times where you have like full health and you have like a renew or a rejuve or a riptide. I don't know if you play with a shaman, you know, like there's not that many cases where Animosphere will make a difference, because usually this is just gonna heal stuff that would have healed you anyway, right? Like, you're just making other people overheal you more by a little bit, you know? So I don't think it's very good. I mean, I see some people play it, but I swear it's bad. I don't know. So I just prefer to have like more healing when it matters. I hope that explains it. What else do we have? Oh yeah. So whenever I'm playing Draven, I do actually have the marksman's advantage into rogue teams, because like, I mean, you press marksman's advantage anyway, right? So, I mean, you might as well just have the conduit because you press hunter's mark anyway into rogues to make it so they don't get a re-stealth. So yeah, pretty good. Recommend it. But that's why I have it on a separate path, so you can like choose specifically if you want to have it into sub rogues. Otherwise, you don't really need to have it. And then for the other ones, I feel like they're kind of self-explanatory. Tactical Retreat is actually super sick. Currently, there is a bug with Ambuscade, very depressing. Let me show you what it does. It is currently bugged. I know. Let me just click some random shit here. I can go down to the bottom and then increase my. Oh no! I just want to show the bug. Come on. There's a bug with Ambuscade. It becomes weaker when it's enhanced. So look here. Oh no! Look how sad this is. I love Ambuscade, but like, it's just bad. like okay, by the time that the guide is out, this might have been fixed, maybe. But if you enhance ambuscade at this eye level, it just becomes worse. Like what? It's so sad. I don't know. So that's why I'm playing with Sheeta's Vigor. But if you guys don't have 278 conduits, you know, I would recommend Ambuscade. So just check if you have 278 and they're enhanced, this doesn't, you know, it becomes like 1 second. Like it's really bad. Oh no. But yeah. So maybe by the time this guide is out, this has already been fixed. But at the moment, Ambuscade is just bugged and it's really bad if it's 278 enhanced. Because you see, like when it's not enhanced, you know, it's good. So yeah. Just to clarify, if they fix Ambuscade, I want to have it instead of Sheeta's Vigor. Everything else, with the 4 set, you can play Strength of the Pack like this. This is, you know, really good with the 4 set. But like this is the default. I would pick this in most matchups. This is, you know, the most DPS. Good job. The root here is super amazing. Door of Shadows, Disorient, very good to peel for your teammates or to get rid of Holy Ward. Fantastic. This gives you a lot of crit. I mean, a lot of verse, a lot of haste. It's solid all around. Good job. Second build you can go is Draven. So I mainly pick this into stuff where I need to get value out of Hold Your Ground. So for example, Rogue Mage. So you'll get some tankiness from this, tankiness from this, a little bit of tankiness from this. I'd say overall, I did some testing. It's around 16k quote unquote healing that you will take in like a full 100 to 0 go compared, you know, to Nadja. So yeah, very good. That 16k can definitely save you for sure. Really good. Recommend it by a lot. Especially like, let's say you have Hold Your Ground, right? You stand still, and then as soon as you come out of a kidney shot, you can maybe press like Feign Death Acceleration, and then the acceleration will get increased. You know, this will also get increased by a little bit. So I mean, in general, it's pretty good into Rogue Mage, Rogue Holy Priest, etc. Yeah, other than that, I would just go with Nadja. You can also like go the build for war, this build. So actually, this is like pretty decent in matchups where you're gonna be constantly under attack, kinda. So, or not like, I mean, maybe you'll get like swapped to, or into stuff like BM Hunters, well, you'll get a lot of value out of this because there's gonna be so many pets near you. Maybe Demo Warlocks, you know, it's gonna be a lot of pets nearby, etc., etc. Because this build for war, the 5% agility, is actually a lot of damage. Last time I calculated it was a 3.9 DPS increase overall. Like all the time, every time. And then, you know, you can pair this up with this if you're nearby some people. So this is basically 4%. And then if you're like next to 2 people, doesn't work on training damage apparently. But yeah, if you're next to someone, you can have like 5% damage increase. And then if you're next to 3 people all the time, also note battlefield presence is like 8 yards, so it's like this. If you're within this distance, you'll get the stack. So it's mainly only really good into like pet classes, as an example. So yeah, you get 3% if you're next to people, 4% damage from this. So overall, that kind of equates to like a 7% damage increase permanent all the time compared to Nadja. So Draven, this build for sure into like pet classes, you can do it. It's very good. You also get a little bit of tankiness. Not bad at all. Yeah, but in general, I would recommend Nadja. But Draven for sure, this is like a very good page. So you can swap them, but I don't know, preference. Move as one is also kind of nice because it works with Pet Dash. You see how my pet uses dash, and I become fast. Very cool. This also doesn't have an internal cooldown, and I think it's 15 yards. I'm pretty sure. I can test it actually. I'm 95% sure that it's 15 yards. So let's see if I stand like this, right? And then I use pet dash. Okay, I think maybe it's 10 yards. Okay, maybe it's like less. But it doesn't have an internal cooldown, so if you're playing with a priest using feathers, a rogue using sprint, etc., you know, you can like have the buff up for a very long time. And then also, in case you guys are wondering, if you want to get this is a weak aura. I can link it down below in the little description. It's very cool. You can swap your stuff depending on what you're against. Yeah. Also, I didn't touch about Theatar's shit. Don't play yeah. I just have marksmanship conduits because I just wanted to try marksmanship, but don't play Theatar if you're playing survival. Just go swap between Nadja and Draven. Nice. So yeah. So that's like the most basic part. Oh no, actually I want to talk about the trinkets. True. So here are all the new trinkets, right? What do we have? We have the Resonator. We have the Echoing Resolve. We have this is shit. We have the Mally, which is very interesting. And yeah, that's about it with the new trinkets. So the two ones that I would recommend you playing are going to be the Resonator and the Aegis. So both the Echoing Resolve and the Fastidious Resolve don't really have any synergy with the Hunter class, because this is only really going to be usable if you can get some value out of the cost. As a hunter, you don't really cost. So this is just bad in general. Yeah, don't play this as a hunter, please, for the love of God. This is extremely shit. Never ever play this. The thing about the Mally trinket, now this kinda soft counters Aegis a bit, because you know this gives you like a magic absorb, and then with the Mally you can eat up the absorb, which is kind of fun. Also, you can eat up Craven's stratagem, which doesn't actually. I mean, okay, so I've tried this like a little bit. So what you can do is, let's say a hunter presses feign death, right? You can then eat up like a little bit of his feign death shield, and then that will make it so the healing absorb becomes bigger, right? But I mean, that's like 8k absorb. Like, it doesn't do all of the absorbs at once, so it's not that good. I would still not recommend it, but yeah. Mainly just used if someone presses uses the Aegis trinket. That's kind of what I would say. If someone presses Aegis, you can play it. Otherwise, I don't know. I would not really recommend it. One fun fact about it, though, about guy is sociopath XD. One fun thing about it, though, is that it's off global. So what you can do here is, you know, you can maybe do like a quick raptor strike. You can eat up all the shields, and then you can like blast someone. Now it shows 0 because, you know. But yeah, I mean, it's not the best, but I mean, it's kind of fun, I guess. I don't know. This not the best, but that's how it works, essentially. I think the Aegis trinket is super insane into basically like any caster, sometimes even melee classes, stuff like Demon Hunter, because it works against chaos damage, because chaos damage is like a magic, you know. Also works against the Fell Rush, which is fire damage. Works against their like Immolation Aura because it's fire damage. Yeah, it's good against like Demon Hunter. It's good against like Frost DK because they do some frost damage. Good against Windwalker because it's Boneless Bruise shadow damage. Good against Wrathpala because holy damage is magic damage. So yeah, it's not only against casters, but yeah, obviously into casters it's gonna be super sick. Also kind of good into like rogue teams. a bit, because, you know, if you like preemptively press Aegis against a rogue, you know, this will eat up all cosmic damage. And speaking of cosmic damage, here we have the Ball, aka the Resonator. Now, it did get a bit nerfed, and it can be kind of awkward to use as a Hunter player. It still is very good if you can use it well enough. If you play like a coordinate, like a, I guess like a coordinated setup with your healer or your teammate. Like, let's say you're playing jungle, right? You can do maim into bash, and then in the beginning of the maim you can press the Resonator. Or if you are playing a hunter, you know, like hunter healer twos, maybe you can do Resonator on the priest stun, and then when the priest stun is over, you can press harpoon to like lock him down even more, as an example. So it's not the most impossible thing to use, but it's not the best either, kinda, I would say. Other than that, you know, like you can use regular old insignia, pretty good. It's good DPS. You can use the regular emblem, you know, good healing when you feel like you don't really want to use Aegis. Yeah, that's basically everything about the trinkets. I guess also I can talk about the fact that like the Resonator doesn't work against pets. So if you try to be smart and like, I'm gonna have my pet on me and then the Resonator will do less damage. Nope. Resonator don't do any damage to pets, so you can't soak enemy Resonators with your pet. Kind of sad, but I mean that is the way that it is. Okay, but I think that's like it when it comes to the actual like basic default about the guide, right? But the thing is, like, most guides don't talk about how you actually play survival. So I think I'm just gonna talk about like how you actually play survival. I think this guy's like fucking chilling very hard. The most important thing that you guys need to know is like how you should do your damage. That is like the biggest reason, like, you know, the biggest thing, because it doesn't matter how clean your traps are, how clean your setups, how good synergy you have with your healer. If you're not doing any damage, you're never gonna kill anyone. You know, you can do a 50-second CC chain, but if you don't do any damage, it doesn't matter. So let me grab like a little notepad real quick. Notepad, here we go. So in order, what I would say are going to be your biggest priorities are: number 1, pressing bomb. Bomb is your biggest priority. Make sure that you never ever have 2 charges of bomb. The reason why is because the cooldown is not going to roll while you have 2, right? So it's just like less damage. But also, Wildfire Bomb break, like it can like break CC, right? So you want to make sure that you press bomb before you trap, otherwise it can be kind of awkward. Like, let's say as an example, right? If I have 2 charges of bomb here and I trap this, like, I really want to press bomb, but I can't press bomb because if I do, I'm gonna break the trap, right? I mean, I could like move away a little bit like this so it won't, but I mean, that's kind of awkward. So mainly most of the time you want to make sure that like you press bomb before you trap so you don't break the trap, essentially. That's what I would say would be the number 1 thing. Number 2 would be, I mean, this can also be kill shot. Could be kill shot proc as well. But usually I would say bomb, mainly just for the cooldown thing. Number 2 would be kill shot proc. You know, pretty self-explanatory. Does a lot of damage. I'd say this is the majority of your damage if you vent there. Number 3 would be blade shot. This is because, you know, you actually wanna you wanna be able to get the kill shot proc, right? And then number 4, serpent sting. So This is something that a lot of people get wrong. I feel like a lot of people, whenever they play survival, their first instinct is to press Serpent Sting and then worry about, you know, bomb and other stuff. But actually, in reality, like, it's not that important. You know? I mean, sure, Serpent Sting is maybe like 15% of your damage, kinda. Maybe 20 on a bad day. But these buttons are way more important. So yeah. And then other than this, I would say Raptor Strike. But like also, Raptor Strike can be higher if you are in melee range and you know in the future you won't be in melee range. So as an example, let's say I'm in this scenario, right? Like, let's pretend I don't have bomb and I don't have flayed shot. Let's just hypothetically pretend. Now, if you look at this, you might think, oh shit, let me press Raptor Strike, Serpent Sting first. But actually, you would want to press Raptor Strike first, and then, because you can't guarantee that you'll have melee range uptime all the time. So, when you actually are in melee range, you want to prioritize Raptor. I can even like put this like this. Like, number 3.5. Raptor Strike if you are in melee range and you know that in the future you will no longer be in melee range. Does this make sense? I hope that this makes sense, because this is like a very big thing that you know, this is very important. Okay, and then I can go on with the next ones. I would say this is probably gonna be like chakrams. But then again, chakrams sometimes can be higher than Raptor Strike. As an example, like in an opener where I can maybe do something like bomb, flayed shot, serpent sting into chakrams, you know? This chakrams could have been a Raptor Strike, but, you know, like, I can't, like, I don't know if I'm gonna be in melee range or not, or range, so you just put chakrams here. Number 6 or 7, this could be flanking strikes. If you need the focus, or if you don't need to save it for a flanking strikes kick, as an example. One rule of advice that I would say when it comes to flanking strikes is try to press it at least once per freezing trap, because, you know, their cooldowns kinda, you know, they're like kinda the same, freezing and flanking. So just try to press, like, I can type it, like, try to press one flanking per freezing trap. Good rule of thumb. Hehe, XD. Number 8. Kill command. Number 9, I don't know, trank shot, mending, this could be like flare, mend pet, stuff like that. I don't know, this just depends on where in the scenario you are in the game. Sometimes trank shot can be higher. Maybe trank shot can be like here, depending. Sometimes you just save it if you're against like a paladin. You might use it for like a bop, for example. Like, I don't know. Yeah. This is kind of the rotation. Also, I just remembered, I didn't talk about mending bandage in the PvP talent. Oh my god. Do I just go over that quickly? Maybe? Okay, dude, in my head it was so obvious, I didn't even like think about it. Okay, but mending bandage into like Assa rogues, hunters for flayed shot, and what else? Like feral druids for feral frenzy and their bleeds in general, and also their forset whenever they press berserk. This thing, Druid. Why am I showing? Wait, this thing, it does bleed when they press berserk. Yeah, that's kind of the thing. Is there any other matchup? No, not really. That's kind of it, because Flayshot is a shadow bleed, so you can remove it with mending bandage. Okay, got that covered. Let's go back to the damage. So yeah, this is the damage. So let me just like show you like a demonstration. I'll put on this add-on so you can see the damage buttons that I'm gonna press over here. So you can kind of get a feel of what I'm gonna press. So a real, like a regular opener, the most basic default opener is going to be Bomb, Blade Shot, Stun on the healer, Serpent Sting, Chakrams, Trap, Bomb. That is going to be the most default, basic bitch opener you guys could ever do. It's just good overall in like most cases. You get your damage flowing. All of your dots will, you know, get applied. You have a high chance of getting a kill shot proc during your actual trap, because the thing is you want to do damage during your trap, right? So yeah, I would kind of say that it's like the most default. But I mean, you can do greedier openers like that as well. I mean, you can do stuff like, I don't know, Bomb, Flayed Shot, Serpent Sting, Chakrams, maybe like a kill shot proc, maybe a Raptor Strike, and then you can maybe Harpoon Trap, disengage back into a bomb, into Raptor Strike flanking strikes. Maybe, I mean, you know, there's like a lot of things you can do. So just follow this rule of thumb, I would say. If you know what spells do damage, it becomes way easier to know how to do damage. That sounds incredibly stupid, but it's actually very true. If you guys just know that Bomb, Kill Shot, and just Serpent Sting and Pet Attack are gonna be 75% of your damage in every single arena game. I can even type that out because it's like, it just illustrates where your damage is coming from. So Bomb, Kill Shot, Serpent, oh shit, Sting and Pet Attack, melee swing, it's going to be roughly like 75% of your damage every single arena game ever played. So while sure you can like worry about the mid-maxing of these things, just it's fine. You know, these buttons are the most of your damage, so don't worry too much about it. Sometimes maybe even like 85 if you're a cheeky boy, but I would say 75 is like pretty like average. Is there anything else I can talk about when it comes to damage? I haven't really talked about like traps much. I guess I could talk about the traps. So what do we have here? We have Tar Trap, Freezing Trap, Steel Trap, and Knock Trap. So the one trap that is like very underrated that I would recommend it by far is Tar Trap. This is mainly going to be used at stuff like pillars. So let's pretend this is like a big pillar, you know, you're against like some cheeky melee team on the ground. Or if you want to chase someone around the pillar, what you can do is place down a little tar trap like this and then chase them. And then, you know, they have to like walk into your trap, right? And then, you know, they will like do stuff. You guys know what I mean? So yeah. Also, when it comes to freezing trap, there's a lot of ways of actually, you know, landing the trap. So I prefer a cursor macro. Now this is just when, you know, when the like, you see how the cursor goes directly on, like there's no green reticle, it's just instant, like this for example, you know. So it's just way faster. So that's something that I would recommend for sure. But it kind of just depends, you know. I know that some hunters don't use cursor macros, others do. They both have their ups and downs. I'd say the biggest downside with using cursor macros is the fact that you can't know the max like throw distance of your trap, which is why I have an add-on like this, range display. So I know for a fact this trap is going to land right here, because I see that he's 40 yards away from me. So, but yeah, this is kind of hard to do. Like if I'm this far away, you know, this trap is not going to land, you know. But like, how am I supposed to know that without using an add-on for it, you know? Like I can't really do it, you know? So that's kind of it. So you're getting speed, but you're losing accuracy, and you're losing the knowledge of knowing if it's gonna be like max range. So I mean, you know, that's kind of just up to you. I just like Cursor because, you know, I can do cool shit like this, some quick scope traps, stuff like that. Also, I'm just more used to it. You know, I've been playing with Cursor macros for a very long time, so okay, just ignore that I missed this one trap, but let's just pretend that it landed, you know. Yeah, that's kind of what I would say. So, is there anything else I want to talk about when it comes to traps? It's like Cursor, use Tar Trap on pillars, use Steel Trap to get distance from people, also for the damage. Like, if you have a melee on you, sometimes it's even better to just replace Disengage with Steel Trap. Now, if you don't know what the fuck that means, let's pretend this is like a melee, or this is like a demon hunter on me right now, you know? I could disengage away from him, or I can Steel Trap him, do a Serpent Sting, and then on this bomb, it's gonna break. But now I'm like 30 yards away from him, right? So this is basically like doing a disengage. So it doesn't really matter that I like that the Steel Trap doesn't last the entire 8 seconds, because I'm still getting distance, right? You can also use Steel Trap and Tar Trap, like if you're chasing people. I was showing this earlier, but like I guess it's hard to really showcase. Let's pretend that my pet is a target that I want to attack, but the issue is, you know, I can never really get to him if this is like a Resto Druid, you know, because he will run at the same speed as me, right? So we will never meet each other. But if I have a Steel Trap here, and then, oh my god, I caught him in my Steel Trap, and now I have uptime on him. You know what I mean? So that's something you can do. You can do the same thing with Tar Trap. Very good. That's mainly just for like uptime and stuff. I think that's pretty much it when it comes to traps and kind of when it comes to damage. I didn't really talk that much about the damage, but yeah, I guess you guys will show, you know, like you will see some examples. So I want to now show you a couple of examples on how you actually want to play in the arena environment. So here we go. I am against Feral Druid Holy Priest, and I'm playing with the Holy Priest as well. Here are the talents. I'm playing with the Ball Trinket as well. There, you could also play with the Resonator. I mean the what is it called actually? With this one, the Aegis for the magic absorb. But I feel like, I mean, maybe there's gonna be a possibility where I can use the ball to kill someone. That was just my thinking. I played Chimerial instead of Survival Tactics because I'm pretty confident that I can live against a Feral Druid and a Holy Priest without the uses of tactics. So yeah, that's kind of what's going on. So let's just skip ahead into the game. You see how I'm just in stealth. So the reason why I am in stealth right now is just because I'm waiting for the Druid to open. Because if the Druid ever opens on me, I mean on my healer, I can then press Scare Beast. So then, you know, their go kind of becomes a bit weaker, because then, you know, the healer has to dispel. I get like 3 globals in. They can't do a go on me. It just becomes awkward for them. So, but then, you know, I realize like, okay, they're probably not gonna do. Yeah, I just open. Like, I just want to do some damage. They open on me. Here is an example of some pet control. I see that he's casting Shackle, so I just move the pet back to me. And then you can see here with the Steel Trap how I didn't use Disengage to get away from the Feral Druid. So you see here I just Steel Trap, run away from him, and now I have gained the distance without really doing anything. What is happening? So yeah, like I still have all of my mobility spells. He hasn't really done anything. I'm just chilling. I don't really want to push into them, because if I push into them, it's going to be a losing situation for me, because I have a ranged advantage over this Feral Druid. The Feral Druid needs to be in melee range to attack me. But I can attack him whenever I want. So therefore, I shouldn't be in melee range. So I want him to push into me. Same thing here. You can use Pet Feign Death, aka Play Dead. This thing. It's the same thing with Feign Death. You know, it just stops casts from happening. So here I saw that the priest was using Shackle, so therefore I just pressed Pet Feign Death, and then I'm using my pet to move him away from the pillar, but he gets shackled anyway, so that's a bit unfortunate. Healer Descent spells it, so yeah. You see like how they're just baiting me to go in, but I know this matchup, and I know that I'm gonna lose, so therefore, see here, he jumps into me. I try to Steel Trap to predict his pathing, but he doesn't do anything. So now the Feral can't really do anything, you know? He's just vibing. He stuns my healer. He tries to go in, but he can't really like do anything here, right? So here my healer trinketed a bash to fear the priest. So therefore, I mean, my stun didn't really do anything, but yeah. So I press Harpoon here, so I get more uptime. And then I missed my trap because I allowed him to death because I'm kind of bad, but you know what, whatever, I'm playing the Hunter class, it's kind of okay. You know, same thing here, the Feral Druid is running into me, so therefore I just run away. Here though, my healer pressed the Kyrian spell, so therefore, you know, he has a lot of damage, so they don't really want to push into us anyway, so therefore I'm allowed to play like this. Same thing, you know, Feral Druid tries to do shit, I just Steel Trap and then run away. I feign death all of the bleeds. He then tries to meld Rakes on me, but it's just run away from them. Just don't allow yourself to be attacked, ever. You have the range advantage, just run away from the pillar, you know? I bait him into the Steel Trap. He has to go bear form. He gets rooted again from the from this thing, the Nimble Steps. So he can't really do much. Like here, he does a go on me, but it's kind of fine because I have Guardian, I have Ross, so I'll be completely fine. I'll just feign death out. And here I Harpoon in because I see that I only have to go through Holy Ward and Shadow Ward Death. So I got Holy Ward. Now I try to get the Shadow Ward Death thing, kick the clone. I got Death. So now if I can land a trap against the priest. I mean, I missed it. That was, I mean, this is... okay, maybe my traps have not really been on point this game. But you know what? Doesn't really matter because look at the DPS. I'm kind of doing some damage, so even though I'm missing some traps here and there, it's completely fine, guys. Just worry about doing damage, and that's kind of it. See that it's casting clone. Did it? Okay, I think I feigned after clone. I think my VLC is it's breaking down a little bit. He's smart, dude. Oh my god. So I pressed Flade Shot on the Hunter. I mean on the Druid, and then he walked into my old trap. So Flade Shot gets removed. A bit unfortunate, but it is what it is. But you can see here, like even though I'm still attacking the Feral, I'm not going into him. You know, I'm just playing safe, just chilling. You know, like even though I have the health advantage, like he can only kill me if he's in melee range. So as long as I don't go melee range, I can't die. You know, like I'd run away, just run. I can sit here because in this scenario, I am in line of sight of my healer, but I'm not in line of sight of the Holy Priest. So the Holy Priest can't actually do damage to me. So, except for this stun. This stun is maybe not the best. What is happening with my VLC? Maybe I can't pause. This is not good at all, but yeah. So yeah. I get stunned. I get gripped away. I then use Mending Bandage to remove the Feral Frenzy. And just repeat. You just run away the entire game. I land a trap. I can now chase him because, you know, but now he pressed Thorns. So I just run away. Same thing. Don't try to overextend. Know your limits. Just run away, just kite, just chill, and they can't really do anything. Like, look how much pressure I'm doing because I'm just not allowing the druid to ever do anything. I also do this thing here, the flanking strikes kick that I was talking about earlier, so pretty solid. I can maybe play in a little bit now. But then same thing, you know, walk away from the pillar. Here I mean, my healer's gonna master spell this clone, doesn't really matter. Here I can push in because I have Feign Death available, so even if I need to run, I can just Feign Death and run away and I'm gonna be completely fine. So here I'm just doing some damage. You can see here Survivor Hunter damage is a little bit disgusting right now. He does my trap. I've landed one trap this entire game, but then it's just you just do damage, and yeah, you just win the game. Just like that. So this is a 2-5. I'm arguably against the best feral holy priest in Europe right now, and they just can't do anything. Like, you just don't allow yourself to get attacked, because if you abuse the fact that you're a ranged class, you're not a melee class, you're a ranged class. Just abuse that fact, and then you should be completely fine. Like, you saw this game, you know, and like every opportunity that I had to try to avoid damage, I did it. You know, like, just run away. Don't allow yourself to get attacked. You see like how I'm just like constantly trying to like make it so the feral can't really play at me? It's just a hit and run playstyle. Just chill, vibe, run away, and you're gonna win the game eventually because your damage is kind of insane right now, I would say. So that's kind of how I would play against feral druids. If they go on your healer though, you would just save Mending Bandage for Feral Frenzy, and then just do the exact same thing. Because the thing is, like, if you are allowed to have uptime against a feral, you should be able to do so much damage to them to where they have to sit in bear form. And then if they're in bear form, they can't do any damage. And if they can't do any damage, they can't do damage before they stun, if that makes any sense. So they can realistically only really try to go for like 100 kills, because they can't really go for like 70 to 0 because they shouldn't really be allowed to be in cat form that often, to where your healer can't heal their passive damage, if that makes any sense. So yeah, that's kind of how you play into feral druids. You just run around a lot and you should win eventually. Here we have video number 2 that I want to go over. So here I am against Windwalker Holy Priest. You quickly see my talents. The one thing that is very important into Windwalker is that you need to pick Nadja for Door of Shadows. So what you can do with this is, let's say my healer gets in a leg sweep and the monk presses like Bone Dust Brew, he presses Tiger Palm to get the Kiefer crit, and then he wants to spinning Crane Kick. At this time, you can Door of Shadows, disorient the monk, disorient all the pets, and the go is over. They can't do anything anymore. So yeah, that's you really want to go Nadja. Fast forward a little bit. See the game. You know, same thing. Tar trap the pillar. Very important. Here I just steel trap for fun. No real reason to. It's just extra damage. Why not? Bomb. I purged off the holy ward. Very lucky. But the same thing. I can't really push in, because if I push in now, I'm gonna be in a losing scenario, because he wants me to go in, right? I want him to push into me, so I'm just passively waiting. I'm just poking them down, you know. Like, you see, like how I'm also here. I get a bit fucked. They favor the pet, so I can't use War of Sacrifice. They press the incap button. He also Ring of Peace this thing. So this means that I have to Trinket Feign Death. There is no other option here. I'm going to die 100-0, 100%. Now, if he didn't fear my pet, maybe I could have been able to like live this with War of Sacrifice. But the fact that he used the ring to interrupt the grip, I have to Trinket Feign Death. I'm gonna die. So I just run away. He stuns the healer for me so I can trap him. And then I'm just trying to do as much damage as possible. Scare Beast to end just so he does less damage. Now I can chase because I have like every single button up. Just gonna do some illegal damage to this guy. We forced Karma and Trinket. So same thing again, just Scare Beast. I feel like a lot of things just has like happened already, but I was just doing as much damage as I can, understanding that Windwalker monks can only really kill you during their setup. So even though he still had all of his cooldowns available, my cooldowns were stronger, so he has to run, you know. And then, you know, when he MCs, I might as well just do damage to the healer at the same time. Just steal trap the healer for fun, and then just go back to hitting the monk. So now I'm allowed to have a melee range of the monk because his damage in general isn't really that big. Same thing here, pushing for a stun trap, trap the healer. Press wing clip, very important when you're chasing people around pillars. Now in the open, it's not really necessary to always press wing clip, but for sure, you saw here, the first global when I connected to the monk was wing clip, because if he is not slowed, he can just slow me and then run behind the pillar and I can never attack him. So very important to just slow people. Here they're doing a random stun. We just do some damage. I harpoon over to the healer, maybe try to get a kick. I still have kick. I'm waiting. He goes really far away. Okay, so now I start to have to play defensive because now he's gonna have leg sweep available. So now they can do stuff. So see here, he even has a Dance of Chi proc. So you see here, like I preemptively move my pet over here. So you see here, if I didn't do this, they could have very easily just feared my pet, leg sweep my healer, and then we see here, like I see him. He's like he wants to fear my pet. Like he wants to fear it so bad, you know. Like I'd slow him, move the pet away. I'm like, please, Mr. Priest, don't fear my pet. So now, you know, their go is over. They have to wait a little bit longer. But I'm still scared. Like they still have the scare beast and everything. So like I can't really push in. I mean now I can because he's stunned, but I'm still really scared. You see how I'm still moving my pet? Like I don't want them to CC my pet. If they do it, they can just 100-0 me. I'm really scared. I see here, I'm like, oh no, he's gonna fear the pet. So I preemptively run away so they can't do their go. My healer is ready for it. So the incap fear at the same time. He grips this is good job, my healer. He's very clutch. He also realized that they wanted to do a go. And then now I just feign death the bone dust brew. Like even if he sweeps me, I then just press Roar of Sacrifice to negate the entire Tiger Palm crit. There's no way that I ever die here. Look at my health. I'm completely fine. So I just go for a stun trap, you know. I can do damage through Karma because I know that the monk doesn't really have that much damage on my priest left, so yeah, just do damage. Just doing damage. We get an MC on the healer. I think he dies maybe. Okay, I didn't press ball. Why am I playing ball here? Then he died. Cool. Yeah, that's kind of how yeah. And also, let's pretend that we didn't kill here. The goal for next go would be, you see how I have Trinket in 50, he has leg sweep in 30, so I just stall the game, I run around for 20 seconds, and then I have the ability to just Trinket, feign death the next sweep. So there's like no way that we're ever gonna lose this game, essentially, basically. Yeah, that's kind of how you play into Windwalkers. It's very important to not overlap. Like, let's say they were doing a go on my healer, right? If I use Roar of Sacrifice and he Trinket fades, and Guardian also, like, you can just lose next go. If for whatever reason you can't pre-Roar of Sacrifice the next go, you know, because then they would just like, I don't know, maybe incap my healer, fear both me and my pet, leg sweep my healer, press everything, and then my healer is completely dead. You know, so it's very important. Same thing happens, like, you know, if I had, like, you know, here, like when they had leg sweep up for a very long time, but they couldn't really do anything because, like, he has had leg sweep up for like 30 seconds now, but they just can't do their go. This just makes it so it rotates all of our CDs back up again. So delaying their go is really important if you have the ability to, because, you know, they're only really gonna do a go if you can't use Roar of Sacrifice. So yeah, you see here, like, just move your pet away, make sure that they can't do shit. Here I fucked up one time, but I mean, we already had too much time to like think about our next plan. So yeah, it was just kind of a brutal game for them, if I'm gonna be honest. And then we have number 3, the Demon Hunter class. Wowee. So there's a lot of ways to play against Demon Hunters. I would say the most common one, from what I've seen from the Hunter Discord, is that they tend to like doing stuff like playing Diamond Eyes, Tracker's Net with Steel Trap and Trailblazer, and then just running down the healer the entire game and just ignoring the Demon Hunter, just, you know, doing like a Tracker's Net into Diamond Eyes, into Steel Trap. Now, while this is like for sure playable, I don't think it's like the best strategy. I think the best strategy is most likely just try to CC the Demon Hunter whenever you're trapping. So yeah. But if you guys have an issue with Demon Hunters, you can for sure do the Diamond Eyes strat with Tracker's Net. I mean, even Tracker's Net is like optional. You don't have to play Tracker's Net, but I feel like Tracker's Net also makes it a bit easier to land the Diamond Eyes without having to use Harpoon, if you guys know what I mean. So yeah, that's also a way to play it, but I just prefer to just play the, you know, this style where you just, you know, you try to kill them in goes, essentially, with the ball trinket and stuff. So yeah, here in the opener, you know, I just want to try to get as much damage as possible. So, you know, Flame Shot here, Bomb, Kill Shot. Let's see what happens. Here I stun, Feint Death, walk away, and then he presses big meta. Now blur, chat, blur. Blur is bubble. It's legit bubble. You can't do any damage into blur. Don't even try. Don't send a Raptor Strike. For the love of God, don't press Flayed Shot or Steel Trap. You're gonna miss. So at this time, I'm just like, okay, the go is over. Whatever. I'm just gonna hit healer because the Demon Hunter has bubble on him. So my healer fears. I'm like, fuck, this was a bad fear because blur, right? So therefore, you know, we just chill, Steel Trap DH, run away from him. You see how I kind of broke it, but like, it's just to get distance, you know? So I haven't sent the trap yet. Now I do. And then we stun at the same time. And then we just try to do some damage here. Nothing really happens, you know, but like, we get an MC. Good thing about MC is that rest of the Druids can't really do anything about mind control, so he has to walk into the healer to stop. Which means that I can press Scare Beast. I got kicked, but I mean, you know, like, try to go for Scare Beast on the rest of Druid, because they're chilling in like cat form, so yeah. And then here, you know, we're trying to do as much damage as possible. Try to press Wing Clip, just run away from the Demon Hunter. I have a full route after this, so I should be fine. I got the Steel Trap into Harpoon Trap, and then I see that he pressed Blur. So now I'm like, okay, the game, look, I'm just chilling. Like, I'm not doing anything. Like, what can I do? He pressed Blur. Nothing. So I'm just, you know, just relaxing, just waiting. You should just try to kite the Demon Hunter as best as you can. Here I sent a desperate ball. I then stunned after, but then he MC'd my ball. I was like, okay, I don't know. Okay, I'm showing this game not because we played clean, but because you guys can see the mistakes that we did, and also like how you can win even if you make mistakes. So here I try to go for the Scare Beast again. Didn't get it. I just tried to run away. I think I have a Steel Trap here. Kick I-Beam. trap. He gets reversed. I should have steel trapped first. I don't really know what I'm doing. But I'm just walking away from him. Got the steel trap on the stun, so he can't really do anything. I'm not walking because I'm in the vortex, so if I move more to the right, I'm gonna get sucked in the middle, aka to the Demon Hunter, so I'm just standing still. And then I can move. So here I just try to do a go on the healer, because I'm like, whatever. Even if I do a go on the DH, he's gonna have blur back, so it's like, whatever, I can't really do anything. So I'll just run and chill. He presses meta again, because this guy has 4 set. Just, you know, press wing clip, run away from him. Go for a trap, because he doesn't, like, I just want to force blur. I got blur, okay, nice. Now we just go back to the healer, run away from him. Just run. Because the thing is, doesn't really matter which strategy you do. If you do the Diamonize strat, or the strat that I'm doing right now. Because the thing is, like, you will win dampening anyway. Because either one of the strategies that you do is just like a you know, a dampening winning strat. So, like you see here, like these are the moments that usually you win the game. Like when he doesn't have blur and the healer is out of CC. But I mean, look at the, like, we're forcing darkness, you know, because dampening is getting a little bit too high. So this is where the majority of Demon Hunter wins comes from. It's not some like long elaborate CC chain. It's just dampening kicked in, and survival hunter damage is just a bit crazy. Kinda. So you see here, like, just run away. I don't even know what to say. It's like the matchup is kind of, you know, repetitive. It's mainly just about living until they just lose. So here he's gonna press blur. It's like, whatever. Just go run away now. It's like, okay, I got blur. Sick. Make a little cheeky run for it. Attack the healer for a sec. We stun the Demon Hunter. Look at our damage. He's like falling apart as a human being. He's dying to nothing. This is what I mean. Like, just kill them. He's like dying. I could have killed him here if I didn't get zapped. Wait, is he gonna live? He's gonna live. We get to the double fear. I try to like send a ball, but then my healer... Okay, this is actually so sad. I'm just looking back at the gameplay right now. So we do a little stun here. We have a fear out. My plan is, don't break the fear. I'm gonna send a ball to where his fear pathing will be, but then it broke to his demon. Sucks. I mean, that, because then also, you know, I could have like harpooned so he couldn't reverse the... He would have died essentially if he didn't spawn a demon, but it's kind of whatever. So here my healer mind controls the reverse. That's kind of sick. Okay, and then, you know, back to doing some damage. We got a mind control on the blur. Excellent. Do some damage to the healer, maybe a little scare beast, didn't get it. I pressed turtle because I'm afraid, so yeah. And then I just make a run for it. So now the next trap will be a bit scary. He doesn't have reverse, doesn't have blur either. My healer dies, but he has rest legendary. It's kind of whatever. So right now I'm feeling kind of pumped. I'm like, nice. If I can get a trap, I can get something going. Because he has no reverse. He has no blur either. So I'm just waiting for the opportunity to come. I have a 10-second window where I can like basically kill him. Soon. Right now it's gonna happen. Harpoon trap. He doesn't have blur. Do some damage. Stun him before he presses blur. Oh my god, he would have died if the demon didn't spawn again. Okay, but now surely he must die, right? I mean, he must. He pressed reverse on nothing. He blurred my kick because he can, yeah. Oh no, he didn't actually, I just saved. And now there's too much dampening. He's spamming regrowth, but I mean the Demon Hunter class just kind of falls apart. He's spamming regrowth. And then he just he just dies because dampening hits, and they can't. Dampening is just way too crazy. So even though this game we we messed up so many traps, so many stunts, so many fears, so many resonators. I even missed a couple of steel traps. You know, in the end, it didn't really matter. You know, I could have done the Diamondized strat by just, you know, with the trackers net, whatever, and I could have won until 50-60% dampening and just win eventually. I could have done that, or I could have just done this strat, which I prefer. You just play regularly and try to like make it so it becomes harder for him to, you know, because ultimately, if we were to play this good, we would have, you know, been more paid more attention to like stunning him so he can't reverse. But we were just playing some off voice games, whatever. So we didn't play this particularly well. But yeah, that's basically what I would try to say. Just steel trap, you know, really, what am I saying? Relievate some pressure with steel trap, and then just wing clip as well. Just chill, and just know that you will win dampening regardless. So yeah, that's kind of what I would say. Just play it cool, and yeah, try to stop the Demon Hunter from getting reverse. Also, if he ever presses blur, don't trade damage into him. Just run away from him. Blur is bubble. It's 80% dodge. By the way, in case you guys didn't know, it's bugged. It's not 50, it's 80%. So yeah, that's good to know. And then we have another one, and we have a mirror matchup. Oh my god. So the one thing about the mirror here, very important, is Flayed Shot. So here I'm trying out Bloodseeker. I don't know. Like this, I could also play Steel Trap if I really want to. So yeah, I went for Natural Mending instead of Camo because I felt like, I mean, like what is Camo gonna do? Look, in the opener, his Camo didn't do anything, so I was like, whatever, I'll just go Natural Mending instead. You saw here instantly he Flayed Shot my pet, so I can show you again. Mending Bandage, the most important thing this entire matchup. Because whatever hunter gets the most Flayed Shots essentially wins, because they're just gonna do so much more damage. So over here I have a Tell Me one. It works like this. Let me show you. Right here. So it tracks Flayed Shot on the pet. I'll just get a little bit of a reminder. And then I also have one over here for one of my teammates. And I also have big debuffs I have it on big debuffs as well. So, spells, offensive debuffs. It's offensive debuff here. So I will see this on my unit frame if one of my teammates also has Blade Shot. So that's how I know how to, how to dispel it. So, he press Blade Shot on the pet. Next global, Mending Bandage on the pet. Just remove that shit. Also, when it comes to like feign deathing in this matchup, usually you want to feign death bomb the second that it happens. So yeah, that's kind of what it comes down to, like feign death. You save it for bomb. Like if the hunter presses bomb, you press feign death. That's kind of the script you can use. So here I'm using Flame Shot on the healer because then he has to walk up to his healer, so then he doesn't become melee range. I think it's better to do it on the healer instead of the pet, because if I do it on the pet, he can remove the bandage flage. I mean he can basically remove it whenever he wants. But if I do it on the healer, either the healer has to walk into us, which can make his positioning worse, or he has to walk into his healer, which means that I will take less damage. Blah blah blah. Here we just stun the healer, stun the other guy, trap the guy with force double trinket in the opener. So I'm like, okay. One thing about mirror that is very important, this goes for any mirror, maybe not every mirror, but especially for Hunter. If you trade trinkets, it's pretty much always a good idea to trinket offensive. If you get put in a situation where you can trinket offensively, that is going to be a massive thing. So you see here, I try to eat the trap. Now, thankfully, I got the trap. Because, yeah. But like, even if I didn't get this trap, my healer would have just trinketed instantly. Because we want to like have the upper hand. Because otherwise, you know, I have to press turtle. Because basically, if my healer doesn't trinket, I have to press turtle. But then I'm pressing turtle on his cooldowns. So then I'm getting like less value, and then it's gonna be harder for me to punish the fact that they don't have trinkets. Because I'm fall behind in my... Okay, let me see if I can try to explain it a bit better. So, if they trinket, you have to retaliate with a trinket, so you can get something next go, because they don't have a trinket, if that makes any sense. Because, let's say my healer here, he got full trapped, and then I didn't eat the trap, you know? And then he didn't trinket the trap. That would 100% force my turtle, right? Because I'm like dead, kinda. Then, next go, it would be incredibly hard for us to force more cooldowns, even though we got double trinket in the opener, because we won't have coordinated assault, and we have to spend like 10 seconds to recover, because we have to like heal up all the damage, and by that time they're gonna be full health, so it's gonna be like hard for us to like do damage to them and trap when they're low, because we have to trap when they're high HP because of the way that we traded the cooldowns. So just trade stuff, it becomes way better, trust me. That's basically all I'm saying. So you see here, you know, it's just like, if he is playing over here, my healer is kiting him away from his healer, so he has to walk back. That's kind of what's happening right now. Because the way that you want to play the matchup is, whatever hunter is standing on the enemy healer is usually winning. Because he can kick my healer, but I can't kick his healer. So I don't want that to happen. Which is why my healer dragged the hunter away from this guy, so he can't get healed. Very important. Like, as an example, let's say we're just standing here in the open and we didn't do the stun. Like, let's say me and him were just trading blows, and then he is standing on the healer and I'm not standing on his healer. He's gonna win 100% of the DPS race, because he can kick my healer, he can trap my healer, he can be, you know, whatever. Meanwhile, I can't do anything to this guy over here. That's like just stuff. So I guess you guys are wondering what's happening here. I'm just waiting for the stun DR to fade. And then since my priest pressed his Kyrian spell, I know that my priest can do a lot of damage. So therefore I just stun the hunter, so he's allowed to just pump. And he almost goes down. Flade shot of me, feign death. I flade shot the healer. He dispels. It happens. Here I try to get trap. You know, I got fade. I got holy ward. And here, because you know we did so much damage and everything. Like, oh my god! Like, he's feared with no trinket. He has to press turtle. And then he presses will. Actually on the fear. I lied. He actually had trinket. And then you see here, my healer instantly trinkets the trap. Like, the thing is, like, I would have been alive, right? Like, he didn't... This is not a trinket to save me. This is a trinket to keep up the pressure so we can, like, keep on gaming and win even harder. Because if he sat the full trap over there, we would have just lost all of our momentum, and the game would have been, like, you know... Like, it would have still been in our favor, but it wouldn't be that strong, you know? Because now I'm trying to get death. He's not pressing anything. You see here how it's really awkward, right? Like, he presses Flade Shot on my healer, so I want to get this Flade Shot, right? But if I walk into my healer, then that means that like I can't do damage, I can't kick, I can't trap, so therefore the damage is gonna get worse, right? So this is why you want to do it on the healer instead of the pet, because if he flash out my pet, I can just get it instantly. You know, my pet is vibing here, he's the blue marker, you know, so that's no big deal whatsoever. You know, I can just get it very easily. But on the healer, it's very awkward. Yeah, so here I trap because he didn't death ever, so I was like, whatever. So see here, I'm walking away. You know, he got out because he pressed blade shot on the healer. Very important to know. You can see here also what I was talking about with the tar traps. It became a little bit awkward. So here we do a stun and then he dies. I feel like nothing much really happened this game. The biggest things that I wanted to talk about in the mirror matchup is if you ever find yourself in a scenario where the hunter is attacking your healer, or he's standing on top of your healer, and you want to attack the hunter, your healer has to drag the hunter away from his healer. Otherwise, you will lose. That is very important. Second off, trinketing offensive is, for the most part, going to be the best thing you can do as a healer. Because if you trinket defensive, that's just bad. Like, just press turtle instead. Like, just turtle at high HP. I would never ever in a mirror recommending trinketing defensive as a healer. Like, you should only trinket as a healer in a mirror matchup to press fear, or to press stun, or to heal a hunter so he can continue doing damage. Not like, oh my god, I'm gonna trinket so I can save you so you don't die. You know, it should be like, I'm gonna trinket so I can help us win the game, not help us not lose. Very, very important. And then, you know, just like do as much damage as you can, try to get lucky with Holy Ward, and then eventually the hunter should die. That's kind of how the matchup kind of plays a bit. Very simple matchup. It's just get Flayed Shot, try to kick the healer, try to be annoying, try to land traps, try to do as much damage as you can, and then just trinket offensive. That's kind of what I would say. Here we have video number 5. We're against the dreaded Demon Warlock. Oh no. So this was before I found out that... wait, let me talk about talents actually. Yeah, I'm just playing default. So if I was playing this matchup today, I would have picked Bloodseeker, and I would have picked a Leech Pet, because I find that, I mean, it just does a lot of damage. But yeah, this was before I knew about the Leech technology. So the one thing you have to be kind of careful of whenever it comes to DMO Warlocks is just know how they do damage. So in case you guys don't know, let me just make a little showcase on how they actually do damage. So the way that Demon Warlocks work is that they just summon a bunch of pets, and then their Decimating Bolt does more damage, and also become instant cast because of this little thing. Demonic Core, whenever your wildlings expand, blah blah blah. Demonic Core. So they place Pyrosiphon, you press Hand of Gul'dan, and then you get 2 imps, and then you can sacrifice your imps to get more Demon Cores. Demon Cores makes Demon Bolt instant and also does more damage. You can have up to 4 stacks of them. Also, Dreadstalkers gives you a Demonic Core, and Dreadstalkers is like instant cast. So basically, every single time that they press Decimating Bolt, that makes it so their Demon Bolts do 100% more damage, and also have 100% crit, and also have like 50% more crit damage. It's just based on like how many pets they have out. That's kind of what I would say. So if you can avoid the Warlock from having pets, they can't one-shot you. So this is where the Hunter class comes in. You never leave the pillar ever. Because if you... Okay, how can he summon his pets if he can't attack you? Right? He can't. So just run away. Here he does like a little go with whatever. Nothing really happens, so you just run away. I press Aegis because he pressed Decimating Bolt, but this Decimating Bolt is a bait Decimating Bolt. Because he didn't summon any pets. He doesn't even have any demon cores. He can't, like, if you remember, demon core, it's this white little buff you wanna, oops it is. This one. Demonic core. So basically how they get this is either from Dreadstalkers or Wild Imps. And they get Wild Imps from Hand of Gul'dan. So he hasn't even pressed the Hand of Gul'dan. So therefore, he has no Wild Imps. So he can't sacrifice them. So he, you know, it's not even instant cost. This is like a bait go, where they use Decimating Bolt and try to bait cooldowns. So I didn't even press War of Sacrifice because, like, you know. Also, the reason why you actually want to use War of Sacrifice into demo is because of this thing. Their Necrolord Legendary makes it so they have 100% crit on their Demon Bolts. Right here. Decimating Bolt also increases damage and crit chance by 100%. It says Shadow Bolt, but if I Demo. Hello. Okay, this is Demon Bolt, not Shadow Bolt, just so you guys know. So it's 100% crit and 50% crit damage. So basically, if you have Ross, you can't die, essentially. So yeah, this is like a fake go he did, so you're just chilling. I'm tanking the Tyrant, so I pet taunt the Tyrant. And just do some damage. Kind of fun. Here, now he's gonna go get some stacks, you know, because he pressed like Hand of Gul'dan, right? So now I want to go back to the pillar. I'm just chilling. See, now he has 3. So now he can cast 3 instant demon bolts. So yeah, that's something. Just kick the Hand of Gul'dan, just kind of chill. So now he doesn't really have like any damage whatsoever, so you can just relax. I try to go for the stun trap here. Like, you see how this guy he has not really been able to do that much damage into me, because, you know, I'm just not allowing him to cast. If he ever would to cast, I would just run away from him, because I'm always near the pillar. I always have Feign Death available. So see here, Decimating Bolt, just Feign Death, keep running away. Fell Obelisk, very important. Kill this instantly. What it does, let me show you. It gives your pets 20% more attack speed. Like, I mean, they just do more damage, essentially. So this just like buffs all of his pets, which is mainly good with the Demonic Tyrant. So if they have Tyrant and Fell Obelisk, you're gonna one-shot your entire family. So just kill the Fell Obelisk. Thank you. See here, just run away from him. Just chill. He can't cast. He's really sad. Here I play in because I have a silence. And also, if you remember, the Chimaerial Sting is a poison, and Priest can't dispel poisons. So therefore, he can't remove the silence. So therefore, he's kind of sad. So therefore, I go for the trap. And then I just, you know, he can't play. You know, he pressed the wall. He has to run away from me. I see that the pet is kind of low, so I just kill the pet. He pressed Decimating Bolt here, but same again. Look at his buffs. Count his demon cores. Let me see here. So we're looking for this buff, right? Demonic core, right? So my War of Sacrifice is bad because he can't even cast them yet. So yeah, he's trying to cast. He can't cast ever, man. The Warlock. I still have Feign Death. I still have Kick available. I'm just permanently at the pillar, and what can he do? He can't cast. It's so sad. This was like a you know, this is like higher rate. These were, I think during this time, this was like the second highest Demon Warlock in twos. So it's not even like it's a bad Warlock. They just can't play. If you play next to a pillar the entire game, and if you know where the damage is coming, and you kick Hand of Gul'dan, and then you make it so he can't get any imps out, it becomes very hard for them to play. It becomes incredibly hard. So yeah. And also this is also because, I mean, my healer is pretty good, so he knows that like he shouldn't push in either way. But yeah, against Demon Warlocks, just sit next to a pillar, know what does damage, know where the damage comes from, and you should be completely fine, I think. And if they manage to do some damage on you, just press Roar of Sacrifice, and then you're basically immortal. Kinda. Here we have the next one, the arch nemesis of a lot of people, from what I've heard, the Affliction Warlock. Oh nay, what do we do here? So here are my talents. I'm just trying to flip through them. So I picked up Dragon Scale instead of Roar of Sacrifice, because Roar of Sacrifice doesn't really do anything. Tracker's Net, because if they ever want to kill my healer, I could just Tracker's Net the priest, or Tracker's Net the warlock while he has Dark Pact, because if you Tracker's Net someone that has an absorb, you can do damage into them and it won't break the root. So let's say, for example, he presses, you know, Dark Pact, pushes in, tries to like press a Soul Rot on my healer. I can just Tracker's Net, it won't break because of the shield, and then my healer can probably live, most likely, by just pressing Fade and this spell, and then dispelling his curse so he won't be slowed, and then I perma-slow both the priest and the warlock. Yeah, that's kind of the game plan. Let's go here into the gameplay. So I have Camo for some reason. Doesn't really do that much though, but whatever. So here I just Tracker's Net the healer. I just, you know, just chill. I just don't want him to stun me. That's like why I'm playing it like this. So here I just pop all my cooldowns. I silence the warlock instead of the priest. And also I know that my silence is going to proc his Echoing Resolve trinket. So therefore I can press Steel Trap. Steel Trap removes the Echoing Resolve, so now my priest can stun the warlock whenever he wants. Also same thing here, you know, like Holy Priest can't spell silence, so I know that I'm safe. So now they're gonna do a go, so I instantly Sheeta Freedom. It's time to save my healer. So I sit next to this guy, I just like harpoon, I don't know, like slow him, run away, wing clip, escape, I Tracker's Net, the air, run away, just chill, just don't trap the warlock, whatever. They popped all the cooldowns, and then now we're fine. Everything is fine in the world. They popped everything and we survived. So good job. Now they can't really do anything for another like 30 seconds. So now we can just play kind of chill, you know? It's all good. I harpoon over to try to bait Fade or Holy Ward, which I get. So now I can just freely press stun whenever I want, after the Holy Ward, that is. I purged it, didn't get it. So it's same thing here, just sit next to pillars. I see that my healer is trying to push it for the Holy Ward, he got it. Try the pet stun. I go in closer, I silence. I go for the thing. He is hella silence right now, so now I need to harpoon to the warlock to remove the thing, which I don't do. I Steel Trap off the thing. Okay, smart. So now he's popping this thing, which makes his dot tick faster, so they do more damage. Try to go back to the pillar so we don't die. Here, if he pushes in like this, that means that they want to do a go. So I Tracker's Netted off the warlock after he had the thing. Wait, what happened here actually? So he stunned the warlock, I think. Yeah, he stunned. Wait. How did he? Wait, what happened? Okay, am I really stupid? What even happened? I'm checking. Oh my god, the nimble step. Oh, that's what happened. Oh my god. The nimble step procced the root. And then I tracker's net off the root. I thought he stunned. Okay, never mind. Oh, that's actually... Wow. Okay, this is like more of a reason to play Draven. You know, to play like this into Warlocks. My god. I didn't even think about that. That's so troll. I can just play this into Warlocks, I guess. We get Fared. Trying to live. It's just like, as long as our healer has Fade, I'm not that worried, but I'm still a bit worried. So they still have Soul Rot available. Here, they press the stun button, so therefore I want to press Steel Trap to remove the Echoing Resolve, which I do. Wait, did I miss Trap? Oh, I missed Trap, actually. That's a bit unfortunate. Dark Glare, important for the pet taunt the Glare if you can. Wing Clip the healer. Here is Chilling Hard and a Steel Trap, so they can't really do anything right now. Just play defensive, just chill. I guess I ball him for fun. He ported away. I should play Aegis in this matchup. The ball doesn't really do anything. Here I kick off the Echoing Resolve because I harpooned over to him, so my silence will go through. I get a little bit of stun here. They do a lot of damage. I just press Feign Death. Should be completely fine. Go back to running. Tar Trap. Run away. Stun the healer. Into Trap on the healer. I'm pressing Hunter's Mark because he is playing with Imp. You see there, like how I got lucky. 50-50. So yeah. Back to doing some damage. Kick the little UA. And then just run away. I don't know. What am I even supposed to say in this matchup? I feel like it's just you just run away and then you will win eventually with dampening kinda. As long as you just don't die during their cooldowns, you should be completely fine. Same thing here. Kick Drain Life and then Steel Trap to remove the Echoing Resolve. He's stunned, so therefore I pressed Harpoon. Wait, what happened? Something happened. I'm checking now. Okay, I kick, remove Echoing Resolve. Wait, okay. Oh, I flanking striked. I thought I harpooned over to him. Never mind. So here, my mouse is over the priest because I want to get a Hunter's Mark into a thing. So here I mark. I missed the trap. This game is not going that well so far, but I mean, then again, we have reached the dampening, and you guys know about survival hunters and dampening. They just kill people through healing. So yeah, cool matchup. I don't really know what else to say about how you play into Affliction Warlocks. It's just about making sure that as a priest, you can never, ever, ever press Fade offensively. You can only press Fade to dispel yourself. Like if you have Soul Rot and maybe UA, maybe even Mind Games, just Fade and then dispel and then run away, and then the hunter can peel for you with slows and roots and stuff. That's kind of how I would say. But it plays a lot like the demo matchup, where you just run away for the majority of the game, sit next to pillars, don't allow them to cast, press Feign Death on cooldown if you can, and yeah, you just win eventually because in dampening, the damage you do is just a little bit too ridiculous. And here we have another matchup against Outlaw. Now, I would say Outlaw is probably the biggest counter that you have in twos. The reason why is because they can do really long CC chains with stuff like blind into sap. They also have really long range. They have perma like sprint, perma vanish. So in case you don't know how Outlaw works, it's this restless blades. This thing. So whenever they use their finishers, it removes 1 second off, vanish, blade rush, sprint, grappling hook. Basically every tool in the game to get out of your slows, get out of your steel trap, mobility spells, damaging spells essentially. So it's very, very, very hard to actually kite an outlaw rogue. So yeah, here you can see. Wait, what talents did I even play this game? Oh yeah, I played Knocktrap because it's a Mugambala. So yeah, the plan was to just try to just knock the rogue down and stuff. So I'm playing Aegis here because I think it's gonna be a Kyrian priest, so I could just press Aegis on the Kyrian priest pop, and I should be fine. Let's see, I'm just sitting in the... Oh shit, something's happening. Okay. So I'm just waiting to get the rogue. See what's happening here. Here he opened with Shark buff. Now he rolled Shark buff and Coin. These are going to be the two buffs that you would even pay attention to Outlaw. So Shark gives them more crit. Coin, if you remember, Restless Blades, it takes 1 second off per combo point spent. With Coin buff, it becomes 2 seconds per combo point spent. So every single time that they press Dispatch, which is their version of Eviscerate, it takes 14 seconds of evasion and sprint. I mean, what? It's too crazy. Outlaw, they have like evasion on maybe like a 1 minute cooldown. If they have uptime, it could be even lower. So yeah, just watch out for Coin. And then Shark can be good to press like Roar of Sacrifice on and stuff. So here I was in a little bit of a pickle. I then disengage over to also, if he kidneys me, my healer is in line of sight. I then just like jump down. I silence the healer so I can start doing some damage. I stun the rogue here because I know that my healer can't stun, and also I should be able to force Trinket, which I do because he has really good buffs. So he stuns me here. I just chill though. I just run away. I didn't need to Roar of Sacrifice here because my healer wasn't in CC. I then just try to, go for some damage. I trap him here, presses Cloak, presses Eve. So now I can't do damage to him. He's basically just immune. So I just go hit the healer for a sec. Now I Ross because my healer gets a Chastise and I know he's going to get feared. So this is a good time to press, the button. So I just run away here. I got Guardian. I'm going to be completely fine. So right now the plan is just to try to get the trap. So now I only have to deal with Holy Ward, which I got. So now the priest has no Holy Ward, no Fade, no Death, so should be easy trap here. Okay, do you guys remember how he pressed Cloak Evasion? But because of Coin, look now. In-game time, 32 seconds. Let's scroll back. When did he press Eve? Here. So it was 35-second cooldown on his evasion because he rolled Coin buff. This Coin right here, if you see this buff, the Coin, just know that you're gonna have Eve on like sub 1 minute. So fucking Coin buff. Coin. I hate Coin. My god. Yeah. Also, in case you were like, why? Because the thing is also, if they press this button, which he pressed over here, which is called Dreadblades, this thing, Signature Strike makes it so it fills up your entire combo point bar. So you play deeper, you play Dreadblades. So what you can do is you press the Dreadblades, and then you press what is it called? Dispatch, which is your like Eviscerate. This one, Eviscerate, basically. So with deeper, right? And then with coin buff, which makes it 1 second more, you can do Sinister Strike into Dispatch. Dispatch removes 12 seconds. And then Sinister Strike Dispatch, that's another 12 seconds. Sinister Strike Dispatch, that's another 12 seconds off. Sinister Strike Dispatch again, another 12 seconds. So you guys can see that with coin buff and Dreadblades, evasion and sprint and vanish, they come up very quickly. Just so you guys know kind of how Outlaw works a bit. But yeah, so here he presses, you know, the button again. I just run away. He pressed ball, but I'm like, whatever, I should be fine. I should just trade turtle here. Completely fine. Then press acceleration, I think. Yep. As soon as the mind game is over. Do a little cheeky stun trap. I can't though. My healer gets a fear, luckily. And then I can trap out. Very fancy. Kidney again. So yeah. I'm just sitting here. I steel trap. He presses. I think it broke actually. So now he basically has like EV again because he's had a lot of uptime. So I'm just gonna run away. Like maybe we can go get a drink because mana's getting a bit low. So, you know, like first off, this is good because if he pushes in, I will have free time to do some damage globals to him. And if he doesn't push in, my healer gets to drink. So he knows that he doesn't, you know, drink is bad, right? So he just runs in. And then just press Ross. Also here, he pressed Vanish, so he can't sap, which is good to know. So we get the Chastise. I just gotta run away from him. Get the Fear, but I already pre-kited the go, so here I just go for a Silence, which fucks up his Fade timing, so now I can just Harpoon Trap. Press Evade though, so I have to run away. I try to fake kick, but so if I stun him, he trinketed for some reason, and then you just run away. So now I see that he has coin buff again, right? So I'm keeping it in mind, like okay, the rogue has coin, so most likely he's gonna press evade very soon. So I'm just kind of running away, not really doing anything. If you remember the same thing about the feral matchup, if you're in a scenario like this, just don't push in. Just relax, just chill. You know, it's all good. You don't need to play in. Yeah, wait until they push into you, basically, because you have the advantage at ranged, and they have the advantage over the pillar. So, you know, like here he had to use his mobility spell to get into me. Here, you know, he presses Shark. This is Shark, Dread, like Dread Blades with Flagellation, and Shark buff. This is a lot of damage. So I just knock him away. I actually kind of forgot that I was playing knock trap the entire game. So yeah, and now I can do a stun trap because the healer doesn't have Guardian or Holy Ward. So I'm just waiting for him to get in line. I can do a silence, but I realized like, oh shit, he has kidney backup. I don't have trinket. My healer probably doesn't want to like overextend, so I just go back and I just chill. So I just stun the rogue instead, just so we don't die, because my healer's mana kind of bad, so he kind of wants to drink. So I'm sitting here waiting for my healer to drink. So like I'm forcing him to push into us because we're drinking over here, you know, and they don't want us to drink. So here he gripped me out of the resonator ball. I got a little trap, kind of cheeky. He presses Eve, so I have to run away. He trinketed the blind. I just pressed flare in case he wanted to vanish to get to me, maybe. So here, thanks him, he has coins, so I was like, he might have Eve back soon, who knows, you know? I got kidneyed here. I just press Ross. It's getting kind of close, but I have turtle up in 5 seconds, so I should be fine. Maybe I get a trap here. I did get a trap. And then we just chill, knock him away. And right now we just try to out. Like, this is like now really close. So right now, I should never ever push into the Outlaw Rogue if I can. Like, I should try to avoid him at like all cost, basically. So I find that little scenario where, I mean, I could save the stun for the healer, but I think it's better to do it on the Rogue because he won't have his trinket for like a little bit. So I just run away here. I'm really scared. The reason why I'm playing it like this is because I have a kill shot and all my cooldown, and the rogue is very low. So if he pushes into me, you know, I'm gonna do like a lot of damage into him. So that's why I'm playing it like this. I just push in. Here, my plan is to turtle kidney. But, oh man, I even like remember this. Because my camera got kind of messed up with this little thing. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna walk in. He's gonna press turtle, kidney, 100%. 100%. He is spamming kidney shot. Because why not, right? I have a kill shot proc. We're both very low HP. Neither me or my healer has a trinket. So like, I'll just turtle kidney and then kill shot him to kill. That was the plan. But then this like angle got a bit fucked, and then I was like, oh no, I don't see him, and then yeah. So now I just think that we lost the game. But then thankfully I got the turtle, and he died. Very cool. That's kind of just like how Outlaw matchups goes. It's a lot of hit and run playstyle, a lot of RNG. You have to play around their buffs a lot. So yeah, it's just knowing that shark buff gives them crit, knowing that coin buff gives them CDR, and other than that, you know, the other buffs, they don't really do that much. And then also knowing that like flag dreadblades with the shark buff is gonna be like a lot of them. So yeah. And then I have the last matchup for today, which is gonna be against a sub rogue. Oh my god. So here against sub rogue, pick the Aegis trinket. The plan is the Aegis actually works against Eviscerate as well, because Eviscerate is half shadow damage, so it will remove some of that damage as well, or like absorb some of it. But it's mainly for the resonator, because the Aegis trinket absorbs all cosmic damage. So that is something to keep in mind. So you see here I'm doing the pet bug, which is you first go camo, you then summon your pet. The reason why I'm doing this is so I get combat while I'm in stealth, so the rogue can't zap me out of stealth. But once I have tier set with 4 set, I'm also gonna be doing this every single game just so I can like kill command to maybe fish for some procs while I'm in stealth. So here is one thing that I'm paying attention to. If they open the game with sheep shot on my healer, this means that they will never ever kill my healer. They have no intention in killing the healer. They want to kill me. So look what I do here. I preemptively silence the healer, and then I run away. So here, I know that they're gonna do shit, so I feign death, so he targets my pet, so he can't step kidney. I then run away, and look how far away the healer is. Like, I just press Roar of Sacrifice, the healer is super late. I'm completely fine. This smoke bomb was maybe a bit interesting. But you saw here, like in the opener, if I used Roar of Sacrifice on my healer on his cheap shot, they could have just, you know, killed me very easily, or at least forced Trinket. But here, their opener forced nothing, which is good. I mean, it forced some stuff, but like in the greater picture, it didn't really force anything. You know, then we go for the purge, we get the holy ward, then we stun trap, you know, the basic, and then stun the rogue at the same time. Blah blah blah, you know, the basic stuff. So I get cloak, I get the trap, force trinket, apotheosis, very cool. So now they're gonna get ready for the next go. So they blind me, feign death, so he can't step, and then steel trap in the flare. Now, why does it matter? It's because you can't vanish when you are in a You can't vanish when you're in Steel Trap. So my healer trinkets anyway. He trinkets my Steel Trap, so I don't know. It's a bit crazy here. But one thing to keep in mind is you have to be very fast with Feign Death. Like, look here, he's targeting me. He wants to like step kidney me right now. No, what happened? Oh no, that was the last game. No. Okay, well, let me. I misclicked. I'm so sorry. Okay, look here. So, very important to just have the reaction time, to just being able to like fuck up a step. Look now. Targets me. I feign death. I mean, here it didn't really matter, but like sometimes it can make it so they can like step to the pet or step to the healer. But yeah, I guess I get enough time to do the Steel Trap, which he then trinkets also. Trinkets here, so yeah, that's something. And then he, you know, now their go is over, so now we can just do a bunch of damage. Like, basically now we have no reason to be scared for, I mean, maybe like 40 seconds, kinda, you know? Like, we can just chill a lot. So here I miss trap because I'm bad. Now they're gonna do a go, so I preemptively silence. I preemptively just chill. Like, I don't really want to push into them, because if I get stunned behind a pillar, you know, they're probably gonna do something on me. Here I see that they're running away from me, which means they want to do a go on my healer. So you see how my pet, he was going to go over here, but if my pet follows, that means that the priest has to, you know, can just fear the pet. So therefore I send my pet back. See here, move the pet away. Fear me. Oh, my healer faded kidney as well. Okay, but let's say like even if they did a step kidney on my healer, I am then in a position to Roar of Sacrifice, and then that should be enough to save my healer, kinda, for the most part. By just making sure that the rogue can't really do anything. So now I stun randomly. I don't think he's gonna press Guardian or Fade, so I just like, whatever. And then he dies 100-0. Yeah. This comp kinda does a lot of damage. Yeah. I mean, we still had so much stuff to go through, you know? If they did a go on me, I can Roar of Sacrifice. I can also, you know, like Trinket Feign Death, Trinket Turtle. If they do a go on my healer, they have to go through Rest Lego and Guardian. It's like so much. I mean, I don't know. This matchup was kind of over. So I think this matchup is kind of free. It can be tricky if they're playing it really, really well. But I do think that it's definitely like a winning matchup. It's just about realizing when the go is gonna happen and playing accordingly. So this is more of a positioning game more than anything. Alrighty. And that's all the games that I have to record. So one thing that I wanna say for sure is that even though all of these games have been without the tier set, and I still want my guide to be relevant when the tier sets comes out. So just, you know, the games that I just recorded, a lot of them would play out almost the exact same way. Like, your gameplay doesn't really matter, or it doesn't really change that much whenever you get the tier set. It's just you know, a little bit more damage here and there. But other than that, you're basically playing the exact same thing, you know? Like, fishing for procs while you're in melee range is maybe not the best, because it's just more DPS to just press Raptor Strike if you're in melee range anyway. But if you are playing a matchup or versus a matchup where you're allowed to have really high uptime, so into stuff like maybe Shadow Priest Warrior, maybe Warrior Ret Paladin, maybe a Warrior Enhancement Shaman, maybe into stuff like Jungle, you know? Where basically every single global you're pressing a button instead of like running away, or you're in CC, or stuff like that, I would for sure recommend playing these talents. 100%. You can also even play Bloodseeker if you really want to. This is for sure a really good way to play, but you have to keep in mind that it's not gonna be the most efficient build in a lot of games. So it just depends on the matchup. I would say play around with it. I think it's a little bit too early to tell. So this build is not completely dead. You can swap these two talents. So if you're against a matchup where, you know, either you are gonna sit CC or the enemy team is gonna run away a lot or stuff like that, these talents are gonna be very good. But this is also a very, very good way to play the game with 4-set. And with 2-set only, I don't know. I feel like the 2-set on it, like in itself, is not that strong. Kinda. You know what I mean? I mean, it's not that bad, but it's mainly the 4-set that is that's gonna make the biggest of deals. So yeah, I think that covers everything. And whenever it comes to stuff like macros and stuff, and the add-ons, I would just link that down below. I have other videos covering that as well. Plus, I feel like going over macros and stuff doesn't really make that much of a... doesn't really make any sense, because you could just scroll through my paste bin anyway, and I have a lot of the macros things kinda is covered, you know, in the description. So if you guys want to see that, very cool. That's about it. Okay, thank you guys for watching my guide. I'm sorry if it was a bit bad, or maybe it was good, I don't know. Look at the time. I am very tired. It's I started the guide at 4 in the morning, and it's now 7 in the morning. God damn. Well, okay, good night, chat, and the people watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the guide. Peace out, and take care. Alright, bye bye.